Everyone, thank you for coming. Welcome to the May 11th Senior Board Meeting. Roll call, please, Mr. Messi.
Yes, sir. Mr. Cox.
Here.
Mr. Day.
Here.
Mr. Ritchie.
Here.
Mr. Scott.
Here.
Mrs. Williams.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you, everybody. All right, we need approval of the agenda for tonight, please.
I first it.
Okay.
I'm motioning. Sorry, guys.
All right, is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Any discussion? All right, Mr. Massey.
All right, approving the agenda, a first from Mr. Scott, a second from Mr. Day. Mr. Cox.
Yes.
Mr. Day.
Yes.
Mr. Ritchie.
Yes.
Mr. Scott.
Yes.
Mrs. Williams.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, now we're going to move on to what I always say is the best part of the meeting. In fact, we have several recognitions tonight that are really what the schools are all about. And first, we will be celebrating our Kids of Character for the month of May.
So good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. So, as Ms. Ritchie said, each month we recognize students who exhibit leadership, scholarship, and good character across our schools. So, Mrs. Palmer is going to tell you why each student who is here this evening is their school's Kid of Character for the month of May. Mrs. Palmer?
Yes. All right. Our first Kid of Character comes from Xenia Preschool, and it's Kiana Ritz.
Okay, we're going to have a picture.
Okay, here's what Xenia Preschool has to say about Kiana. Kiana comes to school every day with a smile on her face. She's always willing to help friends and gives her best effort. She loves playing with friends and is kind to everyone. Congratulations, Kiana.
That was awesome.
Our next Kid of Character comes from Arrowwood Elementary and is Leela Chamberlain. All right, here's what, wait a minute. All right, here's what her teachers had to say about Leela. Congratulations to Leela for being an Arrowwood All-Star. Her 5th grade homeroom teacher, Miss Lewis, writes, Leela comes to school every day with a positive attitude and an eagerness to learn. She listens and follows directions well. She is happy, polite, and kind. She is respectful and responsible. I appreciate Leela because she's always willing to help me in the classroom and is a joy to teach. Keep shining. Mrs. Christian is so thankful for Leela also. Leela volunteers as a greeter team member by holding doors and welcoming students to school in the mornings. She can always count on Leela to be at the door and ready on the weeks that she is scheduled. She is so friendly and thoughtful to all of our students. Thank you, Leela. You are very deserving of this recognition. Our next Kid of Character comes from Cox Elementary and is Emma Ruddy. All right, Emma is respectful and responsible at school. She's always friendly to students and staff and shows that she cares about them. Emma is hardworking and loves learning. Keep shining, Emma. Our next kid of character comes from McKinley Elementary and is Cameron Sylvia. Cameron is a model fourth grade student who consistently demonstrates outstanding character, making him a true kid of character. He is incredibly considerate of his classmates and teachers. Cameron pays attention during instruction and is always polite towards teachers and peers. Cameron is hardworking when it comes to his schoolwork. He turns in quality, accurate, and neatly completed work. When group projects are assigned, he makes sure to carry his share of the responsibility, checking details and making sure the final product is polished. Instead of just giving answers, he patiently offers guidance, helping his peers understand difficult concepts and motivating them to persist when they feel frustrated. This combination of being hardworking and encouraging makes him an exceptional collaborator. Cameron embodies all the qualities of a model student, making our fourth grade classroom a better place every day.
Congratulations.
Our next kid of character comes from Shawnee Elementary and is Mila Bautista.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, Coach.
So for you guys that don't know, they're related. Okay. It's an honor to recognize Mila as Shawnee Elementary Student of Character for May. Mila does a wonderful job working with her classmates and teachers, and she helps create a positive, supportive environment in our school. She comes to school each day with a great attitude and always gives her best effort. She has also shown impressive dedication to her reading, completing over 100 passages, books, magazines, and stories as part of a reading challenge. Her hard work and perseverance have truly stood out. Mila is a natural leader who leads by example, and we are very proud of her. Congratulations, Mila, on this well-deserved recognition. Our next kid of character comes from Tecumseh Elementary and is Cody Jackson. Cody is our class's kid of character for empathy. Cody has an infectious smile and laugh. He has a very funny personality that's full of kindness and love. He demonstrates determination every day to be his best. Cody never gives up when completing new tasks in the classroom or throughout the school. Cody uses a communication device to communicate his wants, needs, and to show his academic progress. When Cody notices someone's upset, he shows them he cares with his compassionate facial expressions and gestures. He has shown such growth in all aspects of his school life. Cody also teaches his teachers new things each week. He is such an amazing and incredibly smart young man who shows perseverance each and every day. Congratulations, Cody Jackson. The end of that. Sorry. So congratulations, Cody Jackson. You brighten our days and inspire us with your smile, laughter, and that big brain. Keep shining bright. All right, we're going to move on to Warner Middle School. Our first kid of character from Warner Middle School is Kaylin Mungia.
Kaylin?
All right. had to say, Warner Middle School is proud to recognize Kaylin as our kid of character. Kaylin consistently demonstrates determination, resilience, and reliability each and every day. She comes to school with a positive attitude, happy, smiling, and ready to learn. During class, Kaylin actively participates and always makes an effort to answer questions. Kaylin enjoys connecting with staff and often shares stories, especially about her two cats, Minnie and Belle. She takes pride in her work, strives to do her best, and is motivated to earn good grades. When she is absent or misses an assignment, Kaylin shows responsibility by reaching out to staff to ensure she stays caught up. Additionally, Kaylin makes excellent use of her flex time, often dedicating it to creating DoorDash bags through the Greene County Board of Developmental Disabilities. She is efficient, focused, and conscientious in completing these tasks, demonstrating a strong work ethic. Kaylin's positive attitude, confidence, and thoughtful decision-making make her an outstanding example of what it means to be a Warner Middle School kid of character.
Congratulations, Kaylin.
Our next kid of character is also from Warner Middle School and is Evan Simmons.
Come back here, Dr. Palmer. Come back here. Get a picture.
Evan Simmons is a true kid of character who consistently demonstrates what it means to be a positive and engaged member of the classroom community. As a 7th grade student, Evan always puts forth his best effort in his work and takes pride in doing things the right way. He eagerly volunteers to participate, often stepping up to work at the board and supporting class learning. Beyond his academic effort, Evan stands out for his kind, friendly, and fun personality. He brings a sense of humor that brightens the classroom while also showing respect and care for others. Evan is a loyal and supportive friend, and his positive attitude makes him someone that classmates and teachers alike enjoy being around. In addition to his work in the classroom, Evan enjoys being a member of the percussion section of the band, where he continues to show dedication and teamwork. Evan is Dr. Simpson's right-hand man. He reminds her to complete the monthly fire drills and is always willing to send the fire alarm. Evan is a wonderful student and truly represents strong character through his actions each day. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
And our last kid of character from Warner Middle School is Devon Rodriguez. Warner Middle School proudly recognizes Devon as the kid of character for the month of May. Devon consistently demonstrates a strong commitment to academic excellence, approaching his work with diligence, focus, and integrity. He is an active and engaged participant in the classroom, contributing thoughtfully to activities and discussions. Devon is respectful, responsible, and considerate in his interactions with peers and staff. He fosters a positive classroom environment through his kindness, cooperation, and willingness to support others. He works effectively, both independently and part of a group. In addition to his academic efforts, Devon is a member of the 6th grade choir and enjoys drawing. His actions reflect the core values of strong character, making him a deserving recipient of this recognition.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. And our last kid of character for this evening comes from Xenia High School and is Emma Gilliam. It is my pleasure to nominate Emma as the kid of character. She's a positive role model who is respectful, responsible, and always willing to help others. Emma works hard in class, stays focused, and shows a strong commitment to doing her best. She asks thoughtful questions and is consistently prepared, on time, and ready to learn each day. Emma demonstrates a commitment to helping others succeed. She volunteers as a tutor and is a valuable resource for both the teacher and her peers. Her willingness to offer guidance and encouragement shows genuine care for those around her. Emma meets every deadline and often goes above and beyond expectations. While her academic success is impressive, it is her kindness, leadership, and dedication to others that make her deserving of recognition as Kid of Character. Congratulations.
So if I could have all the kids of character follow Dr. Lofton over here, we're going to take a picture. Parents, grandparents, you're more than welcome to take a picture as well. So all kids of character follow me.
All right, thank you, parents of the Kids of Character, for coming, supporting your child. Okay, next, on the agenda, under number 2, we're going to move to letter B. And we are going to honor the 2 Lego robotics teams from McKinley.
Mr. Haas. Mr. Haas, you want to come up as well?
Mr. Haas. He's way in the back.
So tonight, we are recognizing, so please join me in recognizing 2 of our first Lego League robotics teams for their exemplary performance at a regional competition. McKinley Elementary's X Marks the Bot and Blockbusters. In a competition that included middle school teams, both of these teams performed extremely well, qualifying to move on in the tournament. These students demonstrated technical skill in coding and engineering, as well as the power of teamwork and creative problem solving under pressure. We are so proud of how you represented our school district. Let's give these 2 teams and these students a round of applause.
Congratulations, Lego Robotics team, great job. You're welcome. All right, next, this year in Xenia schools, we have 17 retirees for the 25-26 school year, many of them ending a very long career in teaching. It's really a great list of teachers. So we'll begin our honoring now. Yep.
Our first retiree is Linda Long. All right, Linda, good film. You can't leave that, Linda. Anything you want to tell us or say, Linda?
I was real thankful for my job and everything. I loved it, and my job was like family, and I thank all my family for coming too.
Well, we appreciate you. Thank you for all your years of service.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Colonel Buells, Mr. Buells, is he here? Come on up. Now, Colonel Buell, for some of you who may be unaware, we started an ROTC program here at Xenia High School, what, 5 years ago?
Yes, sir.
And Colonel Buells has been so instrumental in getting that program up and running, and it's been so successful. So we want to thank you for all your years of hard work in getting that program up and running. Our kids, you know, well like you very well, and you've just done an awesome job for us. So thank you, Colonel Buells.
Thank you for your service.
Tracy Scott. Tracy, say anything?
I started teaching when I was 5. So that's how I got 45
I understand.
years.
I understand.
No, it has been an amazing, amazing 35 years. I have loved, I've loved teaching, and I look forward to my next chapter.
Absolutely. Well, we love you too, so thank you for all your hard years of dedication and commitment. Thank you. Rebecca Barker? Rebecca Barker.
Good.
Rebecca, say anything?
Well, in 2006 and 7, I did a long-term sub here and one in Fairborn. And both offered me jobs, and there was just no contest that Xenia was where I needed to be. The people here were amazing. So
Thank you.
it's been a wonderful time. The only thing better than this is going to be going home and being grandma.
Yeah.
Thank you,
You
Rebecca.
know?
Mr. Fondas, Angela. So before you leave, Angelo, how many years?
40,
40. Wow. How many years in Xenia?
39.
39. Awesome, awesome.
So pretty much it's my second home. So I want to thank Xenia, for giving the opportunity to serve the community.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Michael Jabera. All right, Michael.
Well, for those of you who know me, know this is my second career. And I spent many years not being a teacher. So coming in to see what the other half is has been enlightening for the last 20 years or so. What made this wonderful and what makes any job wonderful is the people you work with. And I have been blessed with some of the best people to work with and the best students.
Virginia, thank you, Michael. We got one gift. For you.
Thank you.
So again, thank you for all your years of dedication and commitment to our students, to our family. And we appreciate everything that you've done on behalf of our schools and our students. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Are you going to tell them about the cupcakes? Oh, okay. All right. There are cupcakes for you and your family. Absolutely.
I would like to stay with Mr. Jabara or Mr. J. He was like my go-to. Britt knows this. I mean, I majored in chemistry, but Mike was like a real chemist. So, like, I'd be teaching and I'd be like, the kids would ask me something, you know, and I'm like, we could Google it, or I could go ask Mr. J. And they're like, oh, just ask Mr. J. You know, he was into all the spice stuff on the bays. Anyway, congratulations to all our retirees. Thank you. Thanks for coming. Please grab a cupcake. All right, next we're going to move on to number 3, citizens address the board. Mr. Massey, yes?
Yes, sir. Anna Russell, please.
Hi, my name is Anna Russell. I live at 1005 McPherson Road, Dean, Ohio, 45385. I am here just to thank the Xenia community, everybody, before you leave, for supporting our permanent improvement levy on the ballot on May 5th. We fortunately passed, so we don't have to worry about it for a few more years. I want to thank Board Member Josh Day, Jim Sainer, Bobby Young, Chelsea and Andy Garrett, Melanie Neasley, Ali Breck, and a few others, community members who helped, putting out signs, helping with social media, spreading the word. It takes a village to make our schools great, and I really appreciated everybody supporting me in organizing it all. I just personally want to thank Mr. Ryan, Mr. Afonso, Ms. Jacobs, and Mr. McKinley, who are retiring this year. All of those teachers taught my children here in Xenia, and I appreciate them. My third thing is, effective leaders create expectations, they make mandates, they present resolutions, and they approve policies. Only after they've sat down with all levels of their team to gain input and understanding about what makes the organization work better. As the final decision makers of our district, please do not approve any resolutions until after you've included your team members in the process. Our teachers and staff are educated, trained, experienced, and excellently qualified to take care and teach our students. Please get their input. Thank you.
Matthew Combs.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Matthew Combs. I live right by the high school on Great Point Drive. I'm so glad to get a chance to speak to y'all. I'm here to represent a multitude of students and talk about strengthening school spirit and student ownership at XHS. We believe that allowing seniors to paint their own parking spots could be a meaningful, low-cost tradition that encourages responsibility and builds up our community. Maintaining the value of our lots is quite important, but these asphalt and concrete surfaces are built for much harsher conditions than some decorative paint. Alongside this, water-based paints will fade cleanly throughout time and can be pressure washed if necessary. The main thing to avoid would be oil-based paints, which could leave residue, but this is why guidelines need to be set for this sort of thing. We could ensure that students use a particular brand or a particular typing by selling directly to students at cost or at a premium to raise money for fundraisers or just the cups that come with the school. And this tradition is more about giving students that sort of positive experience without damaging school property. And with guidelines and responsible implementation, it can become a safe, memorable, and community-building part of senior year. Thank you.
Thank you.
Susan Kelly.
My name is Susan Felly. I live at 2769 Kearney Lane in Xenia. I've been a Xenia resident since 1995. My husband and I we're homeowners here in Xenia. We have two children who graduated from the high school, Alexander in 2019 and Nate in 2023. And both my kids had Mr. J. And I know one of them had Mr. Fondas, and I can't remember which one. But, you know, you kind of get choked up. I actually sent a picture and said, they're retiring. Anyway. I want to share my thanks to all of you for your service to the community of Xenia, especially serving the students, teachers, and staff. Addressing the needs and goals of our district is important. Focusing on the public schools of Xenia and the needs of our students, teachers, and staff should be at the forefront of our minds and focus of the board, superintendent, and treasurer. Yes, accountability is critical. That is why there are layers of oversight. Another thing to remember is the Xenia Community School Board is nonpartisan. That should be evident as you, the board, make your decisions. The primary focus should be the students of Xenia and the Xenia Public Schools. There are two things I would like to comment on that have been in discussion. First, the proposal to change the way the committees are filled by community members. As an active participant in the school system since my daughter started kindergarten here in McKinley, I encourage the involvement of all residents. Engagement, connections, diversity, community, volunteerism, green lighting, hard work, checks, and balances. These are the things that come to mind when I think of the committees that were established to support the board. Finance, student achievement, policy, and board governance strategic plans. If each board member has to approve who sits as volunteers on committees, does that allow for true community involvement? The discussions that happen result in proposals that are then brought to the board for approval. It concerns me that the board might handpick who does and does not get to be on a committee. Without community involvement, does the general Xenia population get to be involved at all in the formation of our Xenia community schools? Secondly, the proposal to ban AI within the district. There has already been work done by the policy committee to update the AI policy. It is on the agenda for its second reading. The policy committee has taken the time to evaluate the use of AI at all levels and make sure it complies with all state and federal laws. There is a new proposal that would not allow AI use within the district. It would be irresponsible for the board to approve a policy that outright bans the use of AI for employees, staff, contractors, students, and outside organizations on school grounds for school assignments or school activities. By not allowing AI use at all, students would not have the guidance and experience as they move through their formative years of learning and as they prepare for their future. With guidance, it can be a tool in their toolbox of life. By creating a policy that bans it, they will not have an understanding of how to use it in an appropriate manner. By using the updated policy that was created by the policy committee, our students will be instructed in responsible AI use. This aligns with the responsibility of the Xenia Community Schools to educate the students and prepare them for the future. What is in the students' best interest? What is in the community's best interest? Should we focus on the needs of the public schools of Xenia and our students, or some national agenda? These are the things that are dear to my heart for Xenia, my heart for the young people of our community, and my heart for our future. We need to make sure the current and future students of Xenia and the Xenia Public Schools are our priority. Thank you for your time.
Janice James.
Almost what she said. I'm Janice James. I live at 691 North Bickett Road, Xenia, Ohio. And I appreciate the opportunity that Dr. Lofton, Chairman Mitchell, and the board give the public to have some input. I'm also talking about AI. And there are pros and cons. I agree with you 100%. There are negative reasons. However, AI is here. It's been here for quite a while. If you ever read Carl Sagan's Dragons of Eden, Speculation on the Evolution of Human Intelligence, published in 1977, you will see he predicted AI. So it's quite a while. I didn't have any gray hair then. But AI is here. If you use your cell phone, if you use your GPS, if you have a smartwatch, if you watch the news, AI is everywhere. And the AI proposal submitted to you in April, which I am sure all of you read very carefully, it outlined how we would use AI in the schools, not as a substitute for education, but as a tool to enhance education. So students could access more information. So teachers could recognize when perhaps ChatGPT was being used where it shouldn't. The proposal outlined academic integrity. It outlined security, privacy, involvement in teaching and overall training. It involved in communicating with parents about how it was going to be used in the schools and advise parents on how it might be used at home. It's built on the premise that, again, I'm repeating myself, it's a tool to support, not a substitute. It prevents, the guidelines focus on preventing AI-driven cheating. And it's, I already said that part, so skipped over my notes. And as I said earlier, AI is everywhere. We use it every day. And yes, there are some negative repercussions. However, if we send our kids out into work and they haven't been able to use AI, they are terribly ill-equipped to enter the job market. But not only that, they're terribly ill-equipped to spot fraud, to spot mistruths, to spot misinformation. So they need access to this. They need to be schooled in it. If we don't use it, we'll send them into the work world at a great disadvantage. There will be all kinds of barriers. And as I've urged you before, and as the speaker before me urged, we have committees. We have committees of experts who delve into, they delved into whether we should have the computer testing, or these are the experts. These are the people we need to listen to. And if we have these committees and they make a recommendation, it is, I believe, the responsibility of the board to listen to and not make snap decisions. I think it's our recommendation to choose what is best for the future of our children, and I'm sure you'll agree that that is job one of every single board member. What is the best for the future of our kids? Thank you.
Mary Gregg.
I'd like to thank Santa Russell and the Levy team for their excellent work in getting this renewal passed. Thank you to all the voters that recognize that money allocated to keeping our schools safe and well-maintained is money well spent. Second, the Hall of Honor dinner, the fundraiser, the biggest fundraiser for the Xenia Community Schools Foundation, was a great evening. The inductees were 4 very worthy Xenia graduates. They gave interesting and inspirational acceptance speeches. Thanks to the board for providing gift cards for the silent auction. Thank you especially to Joshua Day and Bill Ritchie for consistently supporting this organization by donating and bidding to support teacher and student scholarships year after year. Tonight, this board will hear a resolution on banning AI. I have just a couple of thoughts on this subject. First, I'm trying to understand why a resolution is needed. As the policy committee with our Neola rep took considerable time and crafted a robust policy. If board members had an issue with this, they should have consulted the policy committee for further action. This policy was still in the consideration phase. You've only voted on it once, so changes could still be considered. In crafting this resolution, which is now in version 2.0, I guess, it is my understanding that the board's legal team was consulted. So taxpayers already concerned about the levy and property taxes going to schools now see a board member wasting district money instead of using the resources the district pays for. Neola has lawyers to vet policy changes. Why wasn't the policy committee avenue pursued? Finally, an additional thought on AI. I hear and read many comments about the inevitability of AI. It is all around us. I sincerely hope that the Xenia community as a whole takes a step back to consider all of the ramifications of AI. I read that data centers are absolutely necessary for AI to function. Please do your research on the ramifications of data centers as they are popping up all over Ohio. There is plenty of new evidence of the water, noise, and light pollution these centers cause, the destruction of the local water supply, the increases in electricity requirements, and those costs that are passed on to the consumers. We all need to work together, not as rogue agents, to ensure that AI use is beneficial, not destructive, to the schools, as well as destructive to the environment or the community around us. Thank you.
Melanie Duckworth-Nielsen.
Good evening, my name is Melanie Duckworth-Nielsen, 1605 Richland Road. I'm here tonight because I too am deeply concerned about this proposed resolution to broadly ban artificial intelligence within our district. And I want to start by just clearly stating supporting paper-based testing for younger students, especially third graders, is a completely reasonable and developmentally appropriate conversation. But using that conversation to justify a blanket ban on AI across our schools is not balanced. That's an overcorrection. This proposal is not simply about limiting a tool. It changes how our students learn, how our teachers teach, and how our district will function operationally. So before anything like this moves forward, I believe that we need to ask some very practical questions. What is the plan discontinuing? Or is it going to discontinue specific platforms that already incorporate AI? Will we be eliminating Google Classroom, Google Docs, Sheets, Slides? These systems already use AI features like Gemini. Whether it's helping students to organize ideas, improve their writing, summarize information, or to support workflow. Will we also be removing any Microsoft tools that incorporate Copilot AI? Are we going to be revising curriculum that already includes AI-supported instructional tools for teachers and administrators? AI is no longer a separate program that you can turn off. It's already embedded into these systems that we use every single day. It becomes a disruption to our district's instructional and operational ecosystem by not using it. Beyond logistics, there's a much bigger issue. What message are we sending to our students? Because outside of here, AI is not being banned. It's being adopted and it's expected. It's already used in healthcare, construction, skilled trades, engineering, finance, business, higher education, and research. Every field our students may enter is learning how to responsibly integrate these tools. So the questions become, are we preparing our students for that reality or are we placing them behind it? Because removing AI from the classroom does not remove it from their lives. It just removes our ability to guide them on how to use it responsibly and critically. And we're already seeing how valuable that guidance can be right here in our district. In the 4th grade X-Star entrepreneurial program, students used AI tools to help brainstorm business names and logo ideas for the products that they created themselves and sold. It didn't replace their creativity, it expanded it. Students still had to think through ideas, make decisions, refine concepts, and present and build their work. They were learning entrepreneurship, design thinking, communication, and innovation. And this is exactly the kind of future-ready learning that we should be encouraging. We're also seeing practical benefits beyond students. Schools all across the country are using AI to help teachers provide faster and more individualized writing feedback, support lesson differentiation for varying learning levels, and also reduce administrative workload so that educators can spend more time focused on their students. These are not hypothetical benefits. It's already happening. And if we take a step back, we've seen this kind of moment before. When the internet first entered schools, there were similar fears and concerns. Some districts resisted entirely, and some chose to thoughtfully guide students on how to use it responsibly and productively. Over time, it became very clear which approach was better for students in preparing them for college, careers, and a changing world. This feels very similar to that moment. I also think we need to consider another very important issue, and that's security. Many modern educational systems use AI-assisted tools to help detect phishing attempts, monitor suspicious activity, and filter harmful content for students, and improve cybersecurity responses. So I would ask if an analysis has been conducted on potential operational or cybersecurity risks of removing or restricting AI-supported systems, because unintentionally weakening the district's technology infrastructure could create a completely separate set of problems. This is not about being for or against AI. It's about whether we're willing to lead responsibly or react out of discomfort and change. Students do not need AI to think for them. They know how to think, and we're teaching them that. But they need to learn to use AI as a tool to extend their thinking, to analyze, to refine, to question, and to improve. That's the skill that we should be teaching. And we've already started in that direction with our policies. Our policies emphasize ethical use, teacher-guided implementation, academic integrity, and using AI as a support and not a replacement. That's thoughtful progress. A blanket ban moves us away from that progress, and it limits the opportunities for our students that are trying to learn relevant, modern, and just normal skills in a rapidly evolving world. So I would ask you to ask yourselves when you're evaluating this policy, what systems are being impacted, what instructional disruption will this cause, and what opportunities are we removing from our students? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Nash Neasley.
Good evening. My name is Nash Nisley, 1605 Richland Road. I'm in 4th grade at McKinley. I wanted to speak tonight because I heard there was a discussion about banning AI in our schools, and I wanted to share how I've used it. In XR, we did an entrepreneur project where we created products and businesses. I used AI to help me come up with ideas for my business name and logo, but it didn't do the project for me. I still had to think of my ideas, decide what I like, design my product, build it, and explain it. AI just helped me be more creative and see different possibilities. It actually made me more excited about learning. I also wanted to thank Mrs. Williams for coming to the XR Entrepreneur Showcase and supporting us. It meant a lot to see the school board members there caring about what we were working on. I also wanted to thank Mr. Day for volunteering with LEGO Robotics and helping our team learn and grow. In LEGO Robotics, we've been learning coding and problem solving, and sometimes we use AI to help us understand ideas or think of different ways to solve problems. It doesn't replace learning, it helps us learn. We still have to build robots ourselves, test them, fix them, and work together as a team. Sometimes the ideas don't even work, and we have to figure out why. That's part of learning too. I think technology is going to be a big part of our future, and I think schools should help teach us how to use it responsibly instead of pretending it doesn't exist. I also think it's really cool that our Lego robotics team is being recognized tonight because programs like that help kids learn real skills like teamwork, coding, creativity, and problem solving. I know adults want to protect kids, but I think teaching us how to use technology the right way is more helpful than banning it completely. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you, everyone. I don't know if I'm allowed to say thanks to the community for supporting the levy. Am I allowed to say that? Oh, I was going to say it anyway. It's easier to get forgiveness. I did, it's a tough economy, and I believe in Southwest Ohio, only 2 school systems passed or renewed their levy. All the school systems that ask. So we do thank the people of Xenia. Thank you for your confidence in us. We appreciate that very much. All right, now we're going to move on to number 4, the superintendent's consent agenda. And I'm sure we need to pull out J and K.
I know K. J might be.
J is my son-in-law, yeah.
Then yes.
Okay, J and K, Mr. Messi. Anyone else? Yeah, it's my son-in-law who teaches at Warner. Yes.
I recognize the day.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to pull up J and K and vote on those separately. So do I have a motion to accept the superintendent's consent agenda minus J and K?
I accept.
Okay, Mr. Scott, second? I'll second.
All right.
Sorry.
Ready for a roll call?
Yes, please.
All right, approving of the superintendent's consent agenda without items J or K. A first from Mr. Scott, a second from Mr. Ritchie. Mr. Cox?
Yes.
Mr. Day?
Yes.
Mr. Ritchie?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mrs. Williams?
Yes.
Thank you.
And now we'll move on to approve.
I motion to approve item J for the consent agenda.
I'll second.
All right, roll call.
All right, so to approve item J by itself, I have a first from Mr. Day, a second from Mr. Cox. Mr. Cox?
Yes.
Mr. Day?
Yes.
Mr. Ritchie?
I'll abstain.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mrs. Williams?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Okay, motion to, I'll make a motion to approve letter K, contract for Mr. Day.
And I'll second.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Cox. All right, roll call, please.
All right, so approving item K by itself, a first from Mr. Ritchie, a second from Mr. Cox. Mr. Cox?
Yes.
Mr. Day?
Abstain.
Mr. Ritchie?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mrs. Williams?
Yes.
Thank
All
you.
right, thank you. Okay, moving along to some presentations. Letter A is the Xenia High School Air Force Junior ROTC.
Good evening. I'm Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Abby Neal, and next to me is Cadet Major Justice Fraley. Today we're going to be talking about our cadets' achievements for the academic year of 2025 and 2026. So we're going to go over our community service, our curriculum in action, our leadership development requirements, our unit achievements, our cadet accomplishments. To start, our community service. For this academic school year, we have amassed 1,091 community service hours across 92 events. Our events include Color Guard, the Veterans Day Parade, Wreaths Across America, Family Promise, and Vets Roll. Some of our sponsored events is our canned food drive for the Fish Food Pantry, Memorial Park U.S. Flag Pickup, Greene County Northbound Bike Lane Beautification, Community Cleanup, and the Legacy Village Veterans Day activities. Here are some of our pictures throughout the year, including the Veterans Day Parade, the VFW Thanksgiving Dinner, Varsity Color Guard, and Wreaths Across America. Next is Cadet Fraley briefing on curriculum and action trips.
These are our curriculum and action trips, or our CIA trips, and essentially what these are just trips that we take that are
revolved around what we're learning in the classroom. Some trips that we've taken this year was a trip to the 178th Springfield Air National Guard Museum, or base, and the second one is the Air Force Museum and the Fish Research. Our LDRs include Color Guard, Raiders, Drill Team, Rocketry, Orienteering, J-Lab, and Robotics. And Cadet Fraley is going to tell you guys more about those. So our first LDR is J-Lab, which is essentially just an academic goal for our cadets. We have the opportunity to advance in competitions and compete with other schools in the area. Rocketry is something that our first and second year cadets do. There you can see a first year launching his model rocket, and then there you can see our model rockets. Our next LDR is Color Guard. What Color Guard does is they present the colors at football games, lacrosse games, basketball games, and other stuff. They do it at graduation and other community events. Raiders is a physical competition team where we go with other programs in the area, and they do a bunch of courses. It's pretty crazy. Our drill team is in development for next year. We're going to have a class, and we're going to hopefully compete. Our last LDR is flag detail, and our program puts up the flag and lowers the flag every single day, and we also flip it. Those are our first years. Some of our unit achievements have been pretty big this year. We got the Honor and Glory Award at the Dayton Veterans Day Parade, and we've also been awarded the Distinguished Unit Award twice. We're waiting for this year's results. Some more about our cadets. We've gone to Warner Middle School 4 times this year to help recruit the 8th graders to help run the program. We've also helped tour the 8th grade students around the high school. We've also performed campus beautification, which includes going outside after storms and picking up all the trash. We also have a military ball. It's sort of like prom, but for all of the units around our area, and we all have a great time. We also have our annual awards ceremony, which helps recognize our cadets throughout their accomplishments for this year, and it was held in April. To go over what we discussed, we talked about our community service and the 1,000 hours our cadets have received, our Creative Film and Action trips, our leadership development requirements, our unit achievements, and the cadet accomplishments. Thank you for letting us speak.
Thank you. That was an excellent job. All right, next we're going to move on under presentations to our audit presentation, and the auditor is going to talk about their work. I do want to make a note. This occurs typically only with schools that are in financial hardship and trouble. One of our board members asked for this presentation tonight, so. Mr. Coffey. What? Did you not ask for? I did not ask for a audit presentation. Oh, sorry. Okay. I thought that was not for tonight. Oh, okay. Yes?
So it was expressed to me that the board would be interested in some additional audit information over and on top of what we get each year. Every year we're audited by the state of Ohio or an independent accounting agency, which the state of Ohio picks, and feel free to correct me if I need to. And you guys had expressed the desire, a couple of you had, for some information for a performance audit. So in all transparency, we wanted to make a connection between the performance audit team and you, so that way you'd be able to have any questions you have answered directly from the professionals at Audit Ohio Schools and other local governments as well in the state of Ohio.
Yep. Thank you. Sorry, Mr. Cox.
That's right.
All right. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, so I was hoping that we'd be one of the more interesting presentations today, but ROTC and Lego robots, I wasn't expecting that. We're with the Ohio Auditor State's Office. My name is Aaron Shaw, and joined by my colleague, Laura Gavitt. Like what was introduced, there's no commitment here. We are just presenting what performance audits are. There are instances with which our team shows up, and there's a forced engagement, and this is not one of those times. We mostly show up for like fiscal distressed school districts or under certain state agencies or higher education institutions under Senate Bill 4 in 2011. So we're here to make up what you will at the presentation, and you all can make a decision if you want to move forward with it. Who are we? I already did that portion of it, but we're part of the Ohio Performance Team. So the Ohio Auditor State's Office started doing performance audits in 1995. Since then, we've done over 500. We've done more performance audits of school districts than any other government type. The same financial auditors that are showing up to do your financial audits are not the same individuals that are doing performance audits. Of the 800 or so financial or auditor state employees, only about 45 do these performance audits. And 45 performance audits are not all accounting backgrounds. In fact, I'm an accounting background, and I'm one of the few people that have an accounting background. We have economics, philosophy, a diverse group, and that's intentional because one day our team is looking at school district performance audits, and the next time we're auditing 401 water quality certification, isolated wetland permitting process. So we need to be able to go from EPA to ODA to you guys. At a high level, we're going to talk about what performance audits are, types of performance audits, like what entities we show up as. School district performance audits, we're going to cover that component and what sections we generally look at, and then we're going to talk about next steps, if you so choose. So when we walk in the door, despite once people get past the gasps of the auditors here, the first question we get is, how are you different than financial audits? And so I want to make sure that this is put on the screen. Financial audits look at historical data, making sure that financial records are accurate. They're looking at individual checks and comparing them to journal entries. Performance audits are forward-looking. We're identifying areas for improvement, transparency, efficiency, effectiveness. Those are kind of the pillars that our team resides on. And based on that, based on the condition of the district, I say condition in regards to the facts with which your district is operating, we compare that to criteria. The criteria could be peer districts or local districts, and so that may not be the same thing, and Laura may cover that part of that later, or best practices, industry best practices. So what does a performance audit look like? An example is up on the screen. So this is a recent performance audit. The results of the performance audit, including client-paid audits, are released to the public. So we come in, we do what you ask, and then a public audit is released. In that audit, we have a background section where we're comparing your finances, your enrollment, your data to districts that we've identified as your peers. And so peers means similar or better performing. And then we also have a variety of metrics that we've gained over the last 30 years of experience in order to identify who best resembles Xenia compared to these other school districts. So the client requested audit process, if you all decide that you want to move forward with something, you would need to let us know what areas you're interested in, and we're going to talk to you about some of those areas here in a few minutes. At that point, we put together a proposal that includes general timestamps, but then also we talk about the audit cost and then specific language theoretically reflecting your interest. At that point, if you all decide to move forward, we put together a signed notice of engagement. A notice of engagement that you then sign. And then an audit is performed. We generally have 3 phases. First is planning. I say planning in regards to we know what we're doing because of the notice of engagement, but we were refining the work steps based on the data available at your organization. Then we go into field work. This is where the majority of the analysis is performed. There's a series of status updates between our office and district leadership and management. And then at the end, a report is drafted, conclusions are shared. The final recommendations are shared in the exit conference. All of our meetings during the process are confidential, and that's for a variety of reasons, but we have that coverage under the public meetings laws. And then at the end, there's a couple of other steps, including your opportunity to review the draft, give us commentary. You all can provide a response to the letter if you so choose, but ultimately the report is then released. We are, as the Auditor of State's Office, audited. So I want to include that in here. So we are bound by the Generally Accepted Government Auditing Standards. And what that means for you is when we say that there is a best practice that you may want to consider, we're not saying that because Lori and Aaron think it's a good idea. We're saying it because there is an industry best practice or your peers are doing it, you may want to consider it. I will also say at this point that our recommendations in an audit like this would not be required. It's just something to consider. And sometimes districts decide, we may be less efficient, we could do this operation cheaper, but we choose to do it the way that we want to do it because it serves our community better. There are audits that our office performs that do have kind of some teeth associated with our recommendations, but that isn't what works with a client requested audit. So types of performance audits. First, we'll talk about, unfortunately, or fortunately, we have to cover our costs. We are not a cabinet level agency. The Auditor of State, who's Keith Faber, he's running for Attorney General in the next election. He is independently elected. We have to provide our own revenue, and that comes from fees. So the fully loaded fee for any audit from our office is $95 an hour. That being said, the Ohio Legislature, the General Assembly, has prioritized audits for many years for local governments. And so with the subsidy that we receive, Xenia's performance audit, if you so choose, would be subsidized to your cost of $42 an hour. That's 55% less than the normal rate. The total audit cost would vary based on the scope areas you select, and then in your case we know, but the size of the district. Those are just generic talking points. And then who is eligible for a performance audit? Of course, we're here because a school district is eligible. There are 4,000 governments in the state of Ohio. So all 4,000 of those governments in Ohio are eligible for a performance audit. We've only been in 500 of them, but we're in more and more every day. Right now, school districts in particular are our busiest channel. I think probably this year, half of our audits will be school districts, just because that's where the need is right now. So we're in state agencies, boards, commissions, institutions of higher ed, local governments, school districts, and other. We recently did an audit of a community-based correctional facility, which was a new one for us. But anyone in the state of Ohio is eligible if it's a government. But here, we're here because you all are a school district, and we're just going to talk about some of the varying ways in which we look at school districts.
Thank you, Aaron. So as Aaron said, we have worked on many school district audits, and they come in two ways, which Aaron sort of spoke to generally. So it can be district requested. That is when a district reaches out and says, hey, we're interested. We collaboratively develop that scope that is based on the district's financial and operational priorities. As Eric said, under that situation, the district pays for it at that reduced $42 an hour rate. For our audits that are fiscal distress, it does make up the bulk of the work in our channel, but we are doing more and more district requested audits over the past several years. So fiscal distress, it is initiated by our office based on a review of those financial forecasts and the severity of a district's financial condition. The scope areas in that type of audit are really identified to provide the greatest opportunity to improve a district's financial condition. That the Auditor of State pays for, but it comes out of our allocation from the state budget. So what types of school districts have we worked with? All of them. Not all 611 or 12, depending on how you count, but we have worked across the state of Ohio. We have worked with urban, rural, suburban districts. We have worked with some of the highest capacity, highest wealth districts and some of the lowest. We have worked with districts who have some of the largest student enrollment across the state, some of the smallest, and we have worked with districts that have varying student demographics, whether that is the percent of students identified as special ed or as economically disadvantaged. So generally, these are the scope areas for an audit. I won't read the words off the slide, but as we progress, I will sort of talk through each one. Aaron spoke about the background. Really, while we have done hundreds and hundreds of school district audits, there is no singular, there's no other Xenia. So you are the experts. We come in and try to gain an understanding about your district, enrollment, population, square mileage, those types of things. Then we would also gain an understanding of the district's financial background. We would look at those financial forecasts, try to identify and work with the team why revenues and expenditures have varied, and then we would share the audit results, which is just a summary of recommendations. And for those recommendations that do have a financial impact, we would apply that to the financial forecast to see how that changes the financial condition of the district. So the next area would be financial management. We typically look at, or could look at 4 different areas. With forecasting, we are going to come in, we are going to review the forecasts and assumptions and really look to see if they are reasonable and supported. We are going to assess the reasons that there may be a variance between forecasts, and then we will compare the district's practices to develop those forecasts to leading practices. Budgeting, somewhat similar, but it is looking at the district's budgeting practices and comparing those to leading practices. Planning, there are a lot of words up there. We really focus our energies on specific types of plans that a district might have. Strategic planning, which is how are you identifying what is important, what are your priorities, and then is that tied to budget? How are you paying for that? Capital planning, not just focusing on facilities, which many districts do, but the entire suite of your capital assets. So thinking about your fleet, technology needs, those types of things. Facilities preventive maintenance. Do you have a plan? Are you identifying all of the assets that are part of your facilities? Bus replacement, usually it would be part of a capital plan, but how are you identifying when your buses need replaced? What is that trigger? Is it based on age, mileage, maintenance cost? And then fleet preventive maintenance. Is there a plan? How are you identifying when fleet maintenance needs to be provided? Is it based on manufacturer's recommendations, or are there some other needs that are specific to Xenia? Rounding out the financial management scope area is extracurricular activities. Here we're looking at a comparison of your expenditures, but specifically those that are funded by the general fund, because there is some revenue that offsets extracurricular activities. And we're going to compare the percent of general fund expenditure to some peers, generally local peers in the area, and kind of see how you stack up. It may include a look at your pay to participate fees, as well as the number of varsity sports that you are offering, and just see how that compares to those local entities. So that wraps up financial management. Human resources, this is where every district spends the bulk of its money, your personnel expenditures. So we therefore dedicate a fair amount of our time to this analysis. Staffing, really in this section, we are going to be looking at your administrative, educational, and educational support staff on a per 1,000 basis, and compare that to some peer districts. This may be a different set of peers, those that are very high performing, maybe lower spending, similar student demographics. So that is what we would do. There are also a few areas where we will look on a per building basis, because the number of buildings a district has can be an indicator of staffing levels. The second area in human resources would be salaries and wages. Here we're looking at selected salary schedules and kind of tracking those over a 30-year career to see what's the total compensation. But we do it over that 30 years because it helps us identify what the impact is, not just of the base or starting salary, but each individual step along the way. The next area would be the insurance that you provide, specifically medical, prescription, vision, and dental. And here we're trying to understand what is the cost to the total cost of each of those types of insurances. What is the cost to the district? What does the employee contribute? What is the plan design? And how does all of that compare to other school districts that are in your region? The last area in human resources is collective bargaining agreements. This is not an exhaustive look at every provision, but really we're looking at those that may be more costly, that may have an impact on the district's ability to manage and offer the programs and services it wants to. So that is human resources. Moving on to facilities. Here, we are looking at the facilities staff specifically. It's not in our general staffing analysis and human resources because there are different metrics that we are using. We're using some industry benchmarks. So thinking of your custodial maintenance and ground staff, it might be square footage based, it could be ground acres based. Then we would move on to expenditures, and we're looking at expenditures per square foot relative to a set of peers, and then trying to also determine what has the historical expenditure been, is there a trend, and what are those key drivers for what we are seeing. The next area of overtime and substitute temporary labor, that is simply what it says. It is a deeper dive into the expenditure, specifically focused on how are you using overtime? What are the triggers? How does the amount that you use of overtime and or substitute temporary labor compare, and why? So we might expect to see higher usage if you are using a long-term sub because you have a staff member out on leave, extended leave. The final area would be building utilization. And in this area, what we want to understand is how each building functions. Literally count the number of classrooms that you have, understand their use. Is it for core subject? Is it for a special elective, special education? And then see if there is an opportunity to close or consolidate buildings. Transportation, similar kind of look with bus utilization, but really we are focusing on how full are those buses, how many students are you transporting, is there an opportunity to transport safely more students on a bus? Because if you can reduce the number of buses, you can reduce your expenditures, and therefore, maybe dedicate those resources to other areas. But we want to do this in a way that does not impact the funding that you receive. So trying to be mindful of that. And then fleet and fuel security, really it's again just focused on the assets that you have and how are you protecting them. Are there fences? Do people have to log in to get their fuel? The final area would be food service. This is an area where it is not part of every audit, even for fiscal distress. Really, we're focusing here if your general fund has been subsidizing the food service fund, if you are expecting that it will need to, or if you have seen declining revenue, and your expenditures have been exceeding those revenues. So we will look at staffing, and it is the number of meals that you serve for each labor hour, and that is compared to some industry benchmarks. Purchasing, how are you doing it? Are you doing group purchasing? Are you using individual vendors? Is it central? Is it decentralized? With meal prices, we're looking at not only the inputs into those, but also when is the last time you updated your meal prices? How does that compare to similar districts, to the county and statewide average? And is there an interrelationship between your meal prices and your participation rate? And the last would be commodity usage. That is money that you get from the USDA. Are you using it? Have you historically been using it? And if you're not, what is the reason? I know I ran through that quickly, but those are the areas that we typically cover. There are other areas that we have looked at that we can discuss. We have looked at career technical education. When it is appropriate for a district, we have looked at open enrollment practices. So this is a general list of things that are kind of typical that we start with, but it is not exhaustive. So all of that to say, what are the next steps? As Aaron said, if the district wants to have a further discussion, we would need to understand what your specific needs are. We have had some districts that have wanted to do the full suite. We have other districts that said, no thank you, we're good on insurance or transportation. So we would work with you to develop a proposal, send it back. It is a proposal that is, it can go back and forth. We can add things, we can drop things. And then that would go to the board for a vote. If it's approved, the notice of engagement would be signed. And as we're working through this process, we would also be working to identify a team that we would assign to the project. So as we're working through, we would have a much better sense of kind of a start date. But typically a project can take 6 to 9 months from when we actually start the project, not start discussion about the project. So that's it.
Thank you so much. I do have a few questions, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, so first and foremost, you're saying it would be $42 an hour in service for Xenia. Correct, okay, just verifying.
Correct.
And is that $42 an hour per person that works on this project, or is that just 42 hours flat rate? So if you assign like 4 people to work on this, is that $42 per 4 people?
It's for 4 people, but every person on our team is assigned multiple engagements at any given time.
Okay.
So 2 to 3 audits at any given time. So it's not like 40 hours a week for our entire team per person. So the answer is it is per hour, but it's not every hour of all of our team members that are assigned to it.
Yeah, I understand. Kind of like lawyers.
Exactly like
Oh, exactly like lawyers. Yeah, you CPAs. So another question, a follow-up to that would be, how many would we expect to work on our project based upon, you mentioned earlier, you kind of have an idea based upon our district size.
Yeah.
How many would you expect to, how many hours a week and how many of your individuals will work on it?
If you're trying to get to what the total number is going to be, it's somewhere between 60 and 90,000.
60 and 90,000.
Yeah.
Okay, so 90,000 high.
90,000.
You guarantee that? You go 91, it's over?
We
got you on record.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
We can record this. We can even go to contract to say cost not to exceed.
Okay, you're good. I'm just messing with you. I have a sense of humor. I know you guys are new. It's fine. So I break up the awkwardness. I can't help it. All right, so yeah, 60 to 90,000. It's great. And is that in that 90,000? How often do you hit that 90,000 mark on the higher end? So it's likelihood.
We've been under budget on the last dozen audits. Yeah, the school district audits are always under budget.
So you're efficient.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm just asking.
It will largely depend on the scope. So we have done some that are pushing that 90. We are currently doing one that is very limited scope of just only one scope area. So that is why it is truly, up to the district to kind of identify those areas that you would wish to have us look at and analyze, and then we would go from there.
Roger that.
Yeah, and then one thing, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I love the discussion. So hypothetically, maybe I missed it. I think I heard some numbers. If we were to order one today and you started next week, what would be the potential end time for that audit?
We do have, because we were in conversations, we do have a team theoretically lined up. They need to finish their current round of audit work, but we do have a team theoretically ready to go within the next, say, 2 months, and then for it to be 6 to 9 months from that.
That's what I thought you were going to say. Because that's why I was asking if you could start next week. I'm assuming you wouldn't.
Yeah,
If you
there wouldn't.
so you would be ready in 2
Because that's
months.
not efficient.
That is not efficient.
Ready to deploy at any given moment.
Oh my goodness. All right, so yeah, so we would be looking at this time next year probably. We would get
It's less than that.
a little bit less than that.
Yep.
So, and would that go for the fiscal year 25 or this school year?
Well,
When would it end?
It'd be fiscal year 26.
Fiscal year 26. Okay, so if you did the audit, you would end it May of this year, up to like this month at the end of the school year, or how would it work?
If you're trying to get to like how current the data is in terms of release, there is, this, especially say Cleveland City Schools, they're making large adjustments all the time. And so at a certain point in the audit, we're going to have to say, this is the timestamp in which we're going to move forward with. And so by the time we release the audit, it's going to be a couple months after that. But it just depends on when that date is, when we can all get in the room and say, this is the date at which we're going to have the staffing, for example, based on.
Yeah, I just know it's very fluent, isn't it, Tom?
Yeah.
We have this, he's like, it's always fluent. There's always switches. I'm just messing with you, you don't have to look at me. Anyway, so, all right, that's it. And Jeremy, I guess, how does this differ in major differences from the audit that you proposed in January?
Well, first of all, it was a financial review, and the cost was about a $9,000 range.
So the financial review that you proposed is
It was a lot less.
Okay. Did it encompass most of this, or what did it not encompass?
Basically, you just have to go back and check the, I put out a comment on the my Facebook page about it back in, I think it was January. I just deferred to that. I have it in front of me right now.
Okay, I'm just trying to understand. Yeah, cool. All right, that's about all my questions. Sorry, I'm an interrogator, I know.
No, you're fine.
Thank you.
Could you send us a copy of the presentation?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Thank you.
And to be clear, so I actually talked to Mr. Massey about this as a potential option back after the January meeting, because they are a Ohio experienced and knowledgeable group versus what was proposed being from somebody from Texas that may or may not have qualifications to review financial aspects of school districts. So thought, why not go to the experts in Ohio and see what they have to say. But excellent presentation. For any steps forward, I'd look to Mr. Massey obviously to have a lot of input on if there are areas that he thought we could look at to help improve anything that we're doing.
I think there's two big rocks to consider here. Number one is every year we receive a audit that looks in the rearview mirror. And all of those reports, whether it's awards, which are posted on the website, or whether it's opportunities and recommendations for improvement, they're all public, they're all out there. So you've got that sort of, that gets checked every single year. And then what they're talking about is a prospective look forward. So I would look to say to the board, what's your concern? I feel like in terms of our operations, those get checked every year. They have to be checked every year. We publish the information when we start a financial audit, and it's more than financial. They audit College Credit Plus, they audit the school calendar, they take a slice of my liver. Like it's the whole 9 yards for a season is what the other side of the AOS house would do there. And we go through that every single year. So I feel like that's well reported. Whenever that process starts, you guys have a direct email from the audit team where you communicate with them. So this is more of the ball's in your court. So what are the concerns that you would have that this would be an avenue where they could say, hey, look, based on what your concern is, that fits within our scope. And then, it's kind of a conversation here. You're in the driver's seat.
Things that I would be interested in, I don't know if you guys typically, I'm sure you typically cover it, is just, looking at holistically where we spend money and that it's effective uses of those dollars. So we're using it in the most effective ways for the students for their education, for the programs that we're doing. Are there programs that we're using that aren't being effective that we could shift to programs that are, that kind of stuff. So do you look at those types of things? And
can you define like what a program is in your eyes?
Could be easy thing to say is curriculum items or those types of things, which I don't think you cover so much.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering about.
But it could be different. What are like technology items? Did we buy a whole bunch of smart boards that aren't doing much or something? What those kinds of things too.
Yeah. So we look at the finances, and then we obviously have follow-up questions. We show up. We do interviews, but we're not necessarily going to have an auditor show up and look at every smart board to make sure that it's used in the best possible manner. But we can look at, say, the capital funds that Xenia spends on this type of thing and see if that's an outlier compared to peers. But, looking at the actual utilization of, like that TV, for example, we're not going to get into that level of detail.
And I would add, we do have some prohibitions in law in terms of looking at academic results and some of those programs. That being said, we have analyzed in a more recent client requested, they had a larger population of English language learners. So we really worked with the district to understand how they're providing those services, the number of staff, not just teachers, but other administrators and support staff that are involved in that, and then reached out to their peer districts to understand the number of languages they're serving, how they are providing the instruction. Is it pushed into each building? And then we're able to come back to the district and say, you do have more staff relative to these groups. But it's also that conversation about, is that the priority? Is that what Xenia would want to spend its money on? We worked with another district that we found them to have more social worker staff and guidance counselor staff, but it was a concerted effort and decision based on discussions with their community that they wanted to provide those resources. So as Aaron said earlier, our recommendations on that, they are based on data, they are guided by our auditing standards. While they are not mandatory, it is data driven, and then the district has the opportunity to say, we appreciate that, But for Xenia right now, this isn't the decision we want to move forward with.
I was asked, are you advocating in favor of this audit?
I'm not either way.
Oh, I guess I was just trying to
I
understand.
was advocating, if an audit was being presented, or something that, the board thought we should do for the district, I was saying, I was more offering another option of a state expertise that we could turn to.
Okay, I was just trying to.
No, that was all I was.
And I would say if we did want to move forward, I would, want to sit down with Mr. Massey and talk to him about, what he would be worried about, future projections. Mr. Cox, any questions?
No, I'm good, Mr. President.
Mrs. Williams? No? Anyone else?
I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
All right, we are moving on to number 6 on the agenda, the Treasurer's Financial Report for the period ending April 30th, 2026.
Here's over to me. I know he's already left, but I also have Mr. Rafanas. Moment, the hour there, so I was gonna ask him, am I still a knucklehead? So that will forever remain unsolved.
He told me no. He said you moved up.
Okay. As soon as we get the PowerPoint here, we will cruise right through it, hopefully. Jump into the big picture of things right now. So this is for the report for the month ending April 30th. Perfect. You went through my intro there for the month ending April 30th. We're about 83% of the way through the fiscal year. We brought in almost 94% of the projected income, and we've spent about 78.4% of the budget. You'll notice down there for the investment balances at month end, the interest rates ticked up 1/100, so went from 3.79 to 3.8% for the funds that are there in scholarship and general and the Star Ohio account. You'll also notice that that is up slightly from last month in that we've got our income tax came in, we've got the property tax reimbursements from the state, as well as the state gave us the green light to do the transfer from capital projects to the general fund that the board approved back in February. And you'll notice that is highlighted there on the general fund revenue down there at the bottom. That transfer has happened. You can see there where we have got our comparison forecast, again, to the forecast and what we've taken care of fiscal year to date as of the end of April on the revenue side. Shifting gears over to the expenditure side there, again, we've got 83% of the year under our belt, and either encumbered on a purchase order where it is reserved, or it's money that has already, the check has been cut, about 83% there, so those numbers are at a good point for this point in the fiscal year. Again, our same comparison graph, again, looking to make things very easily comparable from month to month as you go throughout the fiscal year to see how you are comparing to the latest forecast expenditure side. If we zoom out to all the funds there, you'll see how we are working to move through not only the grant funds. Those have a slightly different year. They operate on the fiscal year, but because the school year runs September through May, you can spend those out through the month of August, so that's why you'll see a little bit lower percentages there. You'll also see in the debt retirement account, those will be reflected on the May financial report with the bond payments for the voter approved bonds to pay for the construction of Warner Middle School as well as the new elementary buildings. Those were taken care of in the month of May. In January, you guys gave me the authority to make fund-to-fund transfers as needed and then report to you the following month about those. These are a little bit different than that. These aren't your traditional fund-to-fund transfers. These have already got your separate approval. The first one was on April 27th from capital projects to the general fund. You approved that in February. The Ohio Tax Commissioner approved that in writing April 27th. We took care of that. Back in 2023, the board approved an annual transfer from the general fund to the maintenance fund specifically for maintaining the new Warner Middle School of $396,409. So those were both taken care of in the month of April. Do you have any questions I can answer for you for the April financial report?
Just one. Are we expected to take in more revenue this year? I saw
Yes.
one, okay.
Yes, so your major, larger paydays, county property tax, I believe those have been taken care of for the most part. You're still gonna get a little bit more in county. Mobile home tax collection lags a little bit behind your property tax as well as state reimbursement, so that's still gonna come in. And we get a twice a month check, if you will, of the state's portion for paying for students from Columbus and not students from Columbus, from Columbus.
No, I got you.
And we've got 2 of those in May and 2 of those in June that'll still come in throughout till you
Okay,
end
so
of the fiscal year.
we're expected to project a little bit more.
Yep, you'll still have some more coming in. You'll notice that your property tax line there is just right about 100% compared to what we thought we would be. It's a little bit over. And again, we'll see how that looks depending on, any kind of property tax changes and how those look for credits that the state will pick up for property tax bills for the second half of this year. Yeah, but that will be on next year's forecast, next year's financial statement 27.
Right.
Looks good.
Mrs. Williams, question? Mr. Cox? On the revenue, Mr. Massey, I just wondered why, like the special ed line item, is it 60% Title I disadvantage? Are we waiting for funds from?
So what you've got there is you have got, if you start over, we're on the last page of the report, if you start on the far column, that is the fiscal year spendable. So you have a combination of things. In the month of July and August, you've got the last year's grants that are being spent out. And then starting in September, you have the current year's grant. So you add those 2 together, because that'll be spent during this fiscal year, along with a little bit of cushion that you expect that you may or may not get. For example, a couple of years ago, the state, it was about this time, they sent an email that says some other districts have not spent money in the following grants, therefore we're reallocating it to you. So we leave a little bit of cushion in there, so if that happens, we're able to take advantage of those opportunities as they arise, if they arise. They also do a reallocation based on the number of students and the formula that they apply, usually about January every year. So that number is moving a little bit as a target there. And then you can see how much has been spent fiscal year to date, the encumbrance, how much is open on a purchase order. So you can see like with special education, that is primarily, the lion's share of it is salaries and benefits for some of our special education teachers. And we've still got some of those that'll be paid out. You've got 2 pays in May, June, July, and August from this fiscal year's allocation. So you'll again see that number move down. And you've also got it compared to our top item if they were to make a reallocation and give us more money on top of what they've already given us, which may or may not happen. You get a surprise email. So hopefully you get it. But
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions for Mr. Massey? Okay, do I have a motion to accept Treasurer's report for ending April 30th?
I motion.
Okay, Mr. Scott motion, second?
I'll second.
Okay, Mr. Day, second? Roll call, please.
All right, so to approve the April financial report, I have a first from Mr. Scott, a second from Mr. Day. Mr. Cox?
Yes.
Mr. Day?
Yes.
Mr. Ritchie?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mrs. Williams?
Yes.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to move on to number 7. Mr. Massey's ready.
I'm sure. Ready?
The appropriation amendments.
All right, you want to do a first and second, or you need just to go?
I'll motion to approve the amendment.
I'll second.
All right, so for the appropriation amendments, what we have is a really exciting opportunity that the Xenia High School Guidance Office has really been spearheading in order to help connect our graduating seniors with donors and those who would like to set up either a scholarship as a memorial or for some other charitable purpose. So Green Giving, they're out here on 2nd Street here in town. they have got a new scholarship program, and part of that is connecting students with a one-stop application to say, hey, you want to apply one time, and then there's a menu of scholarships for which you might benefit. That way it gives kids or students a one-stop shop for that. It also helps to connect the donors. They've got a little bit larger footprint for meeting with donors than what I would do in the treasurer's office. So it also makes those connections, and it also provides a one-stop place for scholarship committees who understand what the donors want to get, whether it is a student who is pursuing a certain major or a certain sport or whatnot, helps to figure out what child, what student fits the proposed definition for what the donor wanted to support the scholarship. So what this appropriation amendment allows us to do, it's the first step to working with Green Giving, and that first step is to raise the appropriation, because at the beginning of the fiscal year when we set the appropriations, didn't anticipate this opportunity arising, so we had it set to make 1 year's worth of scholarship payments to students, and then the rest of the money is earning interest throughout the year. With this opportunity, this allows us to unlock those dollars, if you will. It raises my authorized amount from you that we're allowed to spend in those two funds. So that way we can make a transfer from our bank account to Green Giving's bank account, along with the MOU that's under board business there. So this is the first step in that process.
And this also is connected to under board business letter B?
It sure is. Yep. So this unlocks the funds, and then if you approve the MOU, that allows me to cut the check.
How much funds to be exact?
We've got a total of, yeah, it's about there at 92,000. It's not going to be quite that much more, but I wanted to give a little bit of wiggle room, because depending on from when I close the books April 30th to tonight is May 11th, how much interest will be earned in that time period. So there's a little bit of cushion there, because I want to take every dime that these people have entrusted us with that's earned interest, it's going to make its way over to Green Giving.
And that's the investment accounts, right? The scholarship fund? Okay,
Yep,
so
yep.
that's already accounted for?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, these are in their own funds, and they're even in their own bank accounts for their interest as well. Yep.
This was an initial idea from guidance or both, Green Giving?
The guidance office started pursuing this with Green Giving, and they brought me in on a meeting a couple months ago about it. And they said they had an MOU, Green Giving did with their lawyers, they kind of worked on it. We ran it through our legal counsel to make sure that, number one, it's legal, it's okay to do, put some ramifications on it, because we want to make sure that we honor the wishes of those who've given, to benefit our students. And I feel like the MOU is taking care of all of those matters, so, yeah.
Seems like it'll make scholarships flow to
Yeah,
correct.
I think one of the major goals there is to really help students to realize there's lots of different things that you can do to help get funded for that next step after you graduate junior high school.
The only other following question, I'm sure it'll be discussed, but is there a limit on how many scholarships one person could achieve in this particular buffet of scholarships?
I am not aware of a limit per se, like you, Jane Doe, John Doe student are only allowed to have 3 scholarships or something like that. I think it depends on how many scholarships do you meet the criteria for. I'm not sure that, every kid can meet all the different criteria that they have there.
Some scholarships will change their criteria to get kids to qualify for them.
Yeah, I got you. I'm just curious, I graduated high school once, and I've seen many graduations, and, what's kind of disheartening at times, and it doesn't happen all the time, is that you see one individual get scholarship after scholarship after scholarship after scholarship, and maybe they get a full ride plus additional scholarships, and it's one of those things that could be a little disheartening for other people, so that's one thing I like to be aware of.
I think that another benefit also is if a student, if you're thinking about it, if you're a student and you're really working hard to get good grades, you probably have a part-time job, some community service, you have a full plate. Having a one-stop shop for that student to be able to say, look, I qualify for da-da-da-da-da, it might be a little bit more efficient for the students, and therefore we're able to make more of those connections between the donor and the student there. So hopefully that might be alleviated from that.
Absolutely. Just something to keep in mind.
I know Mr. Scott serving on the scholarship committee at the high school for probably 25 years. Every year there would be scholarships that had certain parameters that we couldn't even award because Yeah, we just didn't have a student who applied that fit in those, but this will.
And I've seen that
that-
too,
Yeah. All right, any other questions for Mr. Massey? All right, roll call, please.
All right, so on the floor to approve the appropriations amendment, a first from Mr. Day, a second from Mr. Ritchie. Mr.
Yes.
Cox?
Yes.
Mr. Day?
Yes.
Mr. Ritchie?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mrs. Williams?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, now we're going to move on to number 8.
Number 8, all right.
The
So
treasurer's consent
we've got the
agenda.
consent agenda, so just some housekeeping items. So what we have here is the final certificate of estimated resources. What that is the tax revenue from property taxes that we anticipate getting throughout the fiscal year, along with all other revenue sources as an estimate for the year. That's one part of it. We've also got the final appropriations for fiscal year 26 and the permanent appropriations to begin fiscal year 2027. So all of those are together there in the consent agenda. For fiscal year 2026 on the appropriations, the only change would be the fact that you've just raised the appropriations in the Fund 7 and 8 for the scholarships, and those are already reflected in this document. This just sort of puts a bow on it at the end of the year for 26 and allows us to begin operations July 1st, 2027.
One comment.
Sure.
I don't know if it's just board docs doing something weird, but it shows that, the vote for the superintendent's consent agenda is in for the treasurer's consent agenda.
Well, we will have to see what is going on with that.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It might be dependent on how that got copied over. But yeah, I'll take the vote on paper and we'll figure it out.
Mr. Massey, is there
Yes, sir.
anything else that you think you need to point out to us, the board, that was, let's say, typical or, no?
No,
Okay.
I mean, numbers are similar to what they were. It's a smaller appropriation from last year. That's because we've spent, we've got less than we need to spend out for construction, the stadium, projects like that. So,
And it lines up with what we have in the 5-year forecast, right?
for the general fund, it does. Now, what you'll see is the general fund appropriation is higher than what's in the 5-year forecast. I don't anticipate spending every single part of it. What this does is it sets the spending limit here, forecast is a little bit lower, but then that's one less procedural jump, say that we've got 2 boilers just went out, or what have you, across our multiple facilities that might need to be dealt with. So, again, things that would probably beat the thresholds for heating water people anyway, but it's building me just a little bit of cushion there. And again, that's a past practice I've been carrying on.
All right, we need to approve the consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve number 8, treasurer's consent agenda?
So moved.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, Mr. Cox second, Mr. Day first. Roll call, please.
All right, so on the treasurer's consent agenda, a first from Mr. Day, a second from Mr. Cox. Mr. Cox?
Yes.
Mr. Day?
Yes.
Mr. Ritchie?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mrs. Williams?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Okay, we're going to move on to number 9 now, board business. Letter A is the treasurer employment agreement for between Xenia Community Schools Board of Education. Any discussion on?
I move to approve treasurer's employment agreement.
I would second that. Any questions, discussion?
I didn't realize you were up for the next contract.
Are you sure you want to be with us for 5 more years? You've gotten a lot grayer in 5 months. I don't know.
What happened 5 months ago?
Mr. Ritchie, man?
Sure.
Yeah, so let me just say that Mr. Massey, I've been in the district for 9 years. This is the current third treasurer, Mr. Massey is just phenomenal at his job, as evidenced by what he presents to this board. A former educator, he knows students, he knows schools, he's collaborative, knowledgeable, so it's been a joy to work with Mr. Massey for the last 3 years, and I would hope that we would be able to continue to work with Mr. Massey for the next several years as well.
I also want to comment, when I first got elected, I think it was like 2 days afterwards, Tom called me, and he was extremely professional and extremely quick to get me onboarded. Since meeting you, Tom, and everything that we have talked about, I've been in your office, you've been in his office, you've been extremely helpful. I know that this job is not easy for you, and not every job is about pay. Job is about effort, it's about what you do for a community, and for me, personally, this is an obvious yes for me, and an obvious thank you to stay here. And this, I think your contract's longer than my term, so you might be outlasting me, and that's how it should be, because I think you've been fantastic, and I look forward to spending the rest of my term working with you.
Yeah, I always say I'm not really pro approving a contract before it's the time is to approve, but Mr. Massey, you do such a good job. I mean, as my former student, but unlike Mr. Scott, I mean, he was great in class, but I'm just saying, you watch him perform here, and he was like that with me, Mr. Scott, a couple of days after. I think I caught him though, but I was like, hey, I don't know much about school funding. Can you sit down with me and explain all these numbers? And I will say at the OSBA Board Leadership Institute last Friday, Saturday, which I thought was really good. I just want to say to Tom, Mr. Massey, I went to the Painting Your District's financial picture, and there were 2 treasurers there from Benton, Carroll, Salem Local, and Port Clinton. And they did a really good job with their presentation, but I talked to them afterwards and told them what a good job they did. And they said, your treasurer in Xenia is an anomaly because he was actually in the classroom and knows what it's like. I don't know if you've talked to them before, or that's just, and I said, yeah, he really is very good because he was one of us, and now he's either risen above or you're down below, I'm not sure. Yeah. So anyway, we appreciate it. Anyone else?
Seconded all around. It's been fantastic to have you.
Are we ready to vote? Okay, roll call, please.
All right, so I have a first from Mr. Day, a second from Mr. Ritchie to approve the treasurer's employment agreement. Mr. Cox?
Yes.
Mr. Day?
Yes.
Mr. Ritchie?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mrs. Williams?
Yes.
Thank you.
Barely passes. All right, now we've, letter B on the board business, the MOU with Green Giving. I don't know if we need to. Yeah, I know, I think unless there's any further discussion amongst any of the board. Okay, I'll make a motion to accept that, the MOU with Green Giving. Do you have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, Mr. Day, second.
All right, so to approve the MOU with Green Giving for scholarships, a first from Mr. Ritchie, a second from Mr. Day. Mr. Cox?
Yes.
Mr. Day?
Yes.
Mr. Ritchie?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mrs. Williams?
Yes.
Thank
All
you.
right, thank you. Okay, now we're going to move on to letter C, which is with the EPC insurance compared to what we currently have now with Liberty, the proposal. And go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, I guess I wasn't 100% certain we were going to vote on this tonight. I was more of a discussion than a vote. I don't know how the rest of the board.
I'm okay with voting on it, but I would like to hear, as you all know, I'd like to have an impact on this, especially as we come up in the following months. However, I know our insurance agent is here, correct?
Yes.
All right, and if the rest of you wouldn't mind, I would love to give him the opportunity to speak, if that's something you're able to do. If that's something the board is okay with, Mr. President? To speak on his services and everything that he does. If you may. Thank you. My name is Kerry Schuett. I reside in Hilliard, Ohio. I'm the broker for the EPC LFP program. You are somewhat familiar, I understand, with EPC in that you purchase your benefits, I believe, through Southwestern EPC's benefits program. We were contacted, Ken Swink, the director of the EPC, was contacted, I believe, Mr. Massey, was it February? Approximately, and said, hey, we're getting hurt by our current insurance renewals, can you help us? And he turned it over to me, that's my job, and I put a program together. I think the comparison sheets or the proposals handed to the board. So you've seen,
and their own Word docs.
I met with Dr. Lofton and Mr. Massey and went over the highlights without getting too granular on the details. But in a nutshell, we've got better coverage at a less price. It's always a good thing. Your premium, I don't know why you're getting charged what you are. That's not my job to criticize your current program or your current agent relationship or any of that. I tell people there's only a couple things I can't do. I can't live in every district because I have 108 clients and I can't contribute to every booster's. Okay? Other than that, this is what I do. For 35 years, I've been doing nothing but school programs around the country. On an apples-to-apples basis, on an annual premium, you're saving $80,000. Okay. More importantly, in my opinion, that is your wind and hail deductibles with your current program are $100,000 per location. So what that means is if hailstorm comes through, hits 4 of your buildings, that's $400,000 in deductibles. Okay, before the insurance picks up to replace those roofs. In our program, it's $5,000 one time for the entire 4 buildings. So a huge difference from a coverage standpoint. You are currently a January effective date. We originally recommended, I believe, Mr. Massey, to go May 1st, but we just didn't get it done in time, I don't think. So we have the proposal on the table to bring you on June 1st to expire in 27 at the end of June, because everyone is on the fiscal year of our clients. I think that keeps the accounting a little easier. I was really not here to present as much as ask questions as things that you might have seen in there, like what does this mean? People say, well, are you buying my account? You're $80,000, and then next year you're going to sock it to me. All of our members this year got a 2.5% increase, pretty much inflation. It's the beauty of pooling, what I call it, is we try to level out the hills and valleys, okay? So it's a little bit more predictable over time. So, are there questions? If not, I'm going to refer you had a conversation with Tom and Dr.
Yeah, we met about a month ago or so, roughly.
Are there any recommendations from the leadership here?
I feel this is a board level decision. If you feel that, if you have any questions, we've got Mr. Schuett here, you can ask those questions too. And you've got the documents from both policies, the comparisons. I encourage you to ask whatever questions you would want to know about.
Well, to that point, Tom, and I would ask a question, if we were to go with this new vendor, how much longer will we keep our service with Liberty Insurance?
I would be able to send an email tonight letting them know that we would like to end the coverage at the end of May.
Okay, thank you.
I do have a question.
Yes, sir.
Coming from a letter that I received, this person said it is not a traditional insurance policy, but rather a risk pool that pays claims from a shared fund with limited insurance support. Unlike regulated insurance carriers, this type of arrangement is not overseen by the Department of Insurance. While it may be less expensive, it does introduce additional risk, particularly in the event of a large loss where there is no guaranteed level of reserves in place as there is with a carrier like Liberty. I just wondered if you could comment on that, or, I mean, you've seen it along, what, 35 years?
Hundreds of times. I get this all the time.
Oh, okay, and it's not a concern at all?
No, I'll tell you why. We take all the information from 108 districts, well, they're not all districts. We have ESCs, we have some career tech centers, things like that. The majority are like you, are school districts. We take all the information and it gets put into a proposal, gets sent to the actuaries. They develop what is called a PML. That means probable maximum loss. For our group this year, that was $128 million. So they're saying over the next 1,000 years, you can expect to have one loss that'll be $128 million. That's probably a team of maybe 2 or 3 districts. So one storm, 3 members get hit. Okay? We have $350 million in place. Okay, so we're almost triple what the exposure is. As of July 1st, that number is going to $1 billion because we're growing. The more districts we take on, the more insurance we're purchasing. So I have absolutely no fear of us running out of insurance. Yes, sir?
Yeah, what other districts in the area do you potentially cover?
Around here, you mean? Okay, let's see, Yellow Springs, Greenview, Fairborn.
Greenview and Fairborn?
Mm-hmm.
How long have you covered the Yellow Springs, Greenview, and Fairborn?
They're new, but this might be their second renewal.
Okay, so it's like what, half the county?
I think we have, isn't there a Greene County ESC?
There is.
I think they're in the program. You
You
guys
said
might be
Greene
the
and
last,
it's
you might be
not?
the last in the county.
So you cover Beaver Creek?
No.
No.
Okay.
No, they approached us last year and the timing wasn't right and they said, you know what, we're gonna table this and we're gonna look at it a little down the road.
Gotta love tabling. All right.
Just one important question. Have you ever lost at the Ohio Supreme Court for failure to turn over requested documents?
No, you need an FOI?
For the Ohio Supreme Court, for any legal insurance issues?
Not that I know of. We get hundreds of requests, the treasurers hate it. I'm sure Mr. Massey can attest.
Okay, thank you.
The only, I guess, comment that I'd have is, one thing I do appreciate about our current insurance is that they're our neighbor. You know, they're part of our community. It's Xenia dollars, Xenia taxpayer dollars going into the Xenia community. You know, it might be a little bit more expensive, but we're supporting our community with where our insurance currently is.
Yeah, I'm torn. I mean, I'm torn with that a little too. Even at the scholarship committee last week, I think they gave out, I want to say 6 $3,000 scholarships. I'm not sure. I mean, it was, you know, there were so many scholarships going. But I know this is, I mean, talking this over with Mr. Massey and Dr. Lofton, this is a huge savings. And I think Liberty was asked if they could match it, and they said no. And if we are, which we will be judged down the road because of finances at one point, I mean, if the state, you know, votes no property tax or who knows what's going to happen. The two treasurers, Mr. Massey, someone asked, what do you think is the greatest risk right now for school districts? And they said the Ohio legislature. Because, you know, it's just like they, you know, I mean, a lot of them aren't even pro-public school people when they, anyway, so. You want a table? Or I think we should just vote.
I think we should.
Yeah. Mrs. Williams? Do you have any? No? Mr. Cox?
No.
You have any?
I'm good
Okay.
for a vote.
All right, are you good? All right, roll call, please.
I need a first and a second.
Okay,
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
all right, first by Mr. Cox, second by Mr. Scott.
To approve the EPC insurance, first by Mr. Cox, second by Mr. Scott.
Yes.
Mr. Cox?
Yes.
Mr. Day?
For the reasons I stated, no.
Mr. Ritchie?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mrs. Williams?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you for coming.
Sir, is that your bag?
All right, we're going to move on to letter D under board business, the second and final reading for the Board of Education policy updates.
I motion to approve second and final reading.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, any discussion?
I think due to the fact that the next item directly contradicts or opposes, I don't know, whatever, one of the policies, we should probably talk about both of them items kind of in unison.
Well, I see it as it would supersede, so I'm willing to vote for this one to move forward. And if it's a band we wish to continue with, then we already have this one in place, if that's acceptable.
Yeah.
I mean, is that?
No.
I'm just one member here.
I'm just saying they're kind of the same thing, so we might as well talk now about all of it and then just have a vote.
The policy committee's 5-page stance statement on AI is very good, very well written.
I'm inclined to agree, Mr. President. I've looked at it and I have trouble finding fault with it.
And I will say, since they are kind of connected, Mr. Dave, this is a topic, I mean, I get a lot of emails, phone calls from people in the community. This topic is one that has hit a nerve with people. I will say that at the Board Institute leadership thing that I went to, actually the first session I went to was called AI for Youth. And it was an excellent presentation from Ridgewood High School, if you want to scan their QR code. They actually have a class at their school called AI for Youth. And they came up with a reading app, and it's actually going to go, they're going to start selling it. And these girls, there were 6 girls who worked on it, and they're going to go to DC soon to present their app. I mean, it's so revolutionary as far as a high school, putting stuff together and marketing it. And getting rid of AI, I feel like in this day and age is like, years ago when I started teaching in '86, there was no internet. And, the internet came out and people were like, oh, we can't use the internet. And then, you could take so many advances. There's a house at the Greenfield Village of the Henry Ford Museum in Dearborn, Michigan. It was the first house to have electricity. And they said, we tried to get all the houses around us to have electricity, and they were like, oh, people are afraid of new technology. And then we could just list thing after thing, and AI touches every corner of school. I know as a teacher, I'm sure all of our jobs, AI touches every corner. My nephew works at Disney World, and he said, you wouldn't believe how they're using AI. My daughter, who works in finance at Ohio State, she wanted me to say, and she said she would come and speak tonight, all students who graduate from Ohio State, starting with the class of 2029, will be AI fluent, having as many courses in AI as their field of study. And it's not that they're going to, it's just that they know how to use AI in that field. It's not replacing it, which is, I think, what every educator is. Mrs. Palmer could attest to this. It's not replacing curriculum, but it's enhancing curriculum. That's how we need to use AI in the classroom. Anyway, so that's interesting with Ohio State. I took a lot, I have a lot of notes people have sent me, but I think we're probably all in agreement. I know, I don't know if everybody receives. I know the OSBA, there's an entire periodical that we just got. It's on how AI is being used positively. And you know, there are some pitfalls of AI, just like there are pitfalls with everything. And you just have to, I mean, saying getting rid of AI totally, I don't think you can even do that I know of. You know, Finland had an interesting study in here, integrating and using AI while learning to guard against the potential negative consequences. So anyway.
So I'm not understanding, are we discussing D or E, are we discussing both?
I guess we're discussing
I think
both.
it's worth it to discuss both unless you really do want to just wait and field questions only for item E.
Well, right, listen, I don't mind being in the minority here. The issue is I don't have a problem with discussing D, and if D passes, then discussing E. And if it doesn't pass, then it doesn't pass, but then if it does pass, then it supersedes, right, because it have to. So that's what I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to find out, are we discussing both at once, or are we discussing? Because if we are discussing my proposal, would it not be proper for me to at least give my case before everybody makes a decision beforehand? Or am I not allotted a discussion?
That's why I'm asking. Do you want to field questions on E now and go through it with item D, or would you like to just go through D and then?
Yeah, I'd like to go through D, but I think it's more proper to go through D because it's next. Right, I'm not the one who made
Sure.
the agenda time.
Then we can vote
We can go ahead and vote
this
on,
one and then move
right.
on.
I feel like they're connected, just like the memorandum of the MOU that we talked about, green giving. Okay, roll call please for D.
All right, so to approve the second and final reading of the 44.2 winter 2026 update on BOE policies, I have a first from Mr. Day and a second from Mr. Cox. Mr. Cox?
Yes.
Mr. Day?
Yes.
Mr. Ritchie?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mrs. Williams?
Yes.
All right. Thank you. Okay, we're moving on to letter E, Mr. Scott's resolution to ban the use of AI software
All right.
and applications and material from the school district. Okay.
All right, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And thank you, Bill, for putting it on the agenda for discussion. The resolution that was proposed was amended after attorney consultation to allow the superintendent to create exceptions for policy-driven things, for things from the state, if there's any legal issues, right? So that was approved. So the version that you have is approved by our attorney. I want to address some comments because there's a lot of comments about AI, and this is I put it out for transparency a few weeks ago, and I swear it's got to be entertaining to put things on social media because I received bipartisan hate and I have received bipartisan love, and that is the most confusing thing I've ever experienced in the last 2 weeks. I've had a lady tell me that she hates everything I do in politics except this. I've had a guy tell me I'm a plant for the teachers union. And I want to work through here, so I want to go down some comments from people who talked about it and kind of address both of these. Okay, so we had several people against this ban, but let me discuss what actually, Melanie, thank you so much. I think you brought up a very good point that I had to take into effect security and cybersecurity, something that can be utilized for AI. So I do credit where that is due. I do understand the concerns about AI, but I do understand the issues with AI. AI is a fantastic tool in the workplace. It is something that drives progress, but it is also something that replaces critical thinking. It does. And what we have is admissions where we have AI in our school daily. Now, maybe I'm getting old, but when I went through high school and college, I didn't have AI. I mean, you couldn't even go to Google and type in a question and cheat that way. Like, you still had to do some research, right? And the thing about struggling for questions, and the thing about struggling to write lesson plans or write quizzes or answer homework and do homework is that you're learning the lesson and the struggle that you're looking at. Right? I understand that each and every one of you has walked into this with preconceived notions about why I'm doing this and what we're doing this, but I'm doing this for the kids. That is my purpose. I understand I just voted yes on the recommendations from the policy committee to be in place if this is not something you want to do. I simply state that AI is not, just because it's not going anywhere, doesn't mean we have to push forward in a learning environment. In a learning environment, we have a critical thing. In fact, we have a fantastically brave student, Nash Neasley. Neasley, is that right? Neasley, who commented earlier in the 4th grade saying he's using AI. He said AI created business ideas and logos for him, helped create solutions.
That's not what he said.
He did not say helped create ideas.
You said you had to figure out how to do it right yourself.
I have a copy of it I can email.
You can give me a copy. I'm just writing from my notes. See, all right, so I'm having a conversation with all the board members in the room. So, and so what I guess what I'm getting at here is that I really don't feel learning is going to take place in the scenario that it's taking place when AI is there as a crutch. Now, I understand that AI can be used as a tool. I do. But I don't believe it will likely be used that way in the long term. I don't feel it will be used that way in most classrooms. I think it's going to be something that it doesn't just provide answers, it tells you why. It reads books, it writes books, it does the work for our students. It provides, I've had a conversation with our principal at the high school, I've had a conversation with many different individuals. I've read every single comment, negative and positive, that we've seen. This is one of these things where we have to represent parents as well. We had a parent message me and say that her son graduated from Xenia with a 4.2 GPA. He's at college, but he can't spell. That's what she said. She jokingly said he can't spell because he relies on spell check all the time. And I've heard all the arguments. I've heard the arguments about, well, this is a calculator, or this is spell check, or this is the internet all over again. I disagree. Because calculators didn't take jobs. All right? Spell check. Whose jobs did calculators take?
Do you know what was the calculators? The literal people that did the calculators.
The mathematicians?
Yes.
They're gone. They don't exist anymore. Mathematicians.
NASA employed calculators.
Correct.
That did the calculations to get us to the moon. With the invention of a calculator, they were not continued.
Okay, so Katherine Johnson lost a job. Is that what you're saying?
And hundreds of other men and women that had those jobs.
And listen, and it has to be noted here that, and I appreciate your input, I do. I have, and I appreciate your guidance. But when you post a day in advance that you have no intention of supporting this or having a discussion on this, it makes it hard for me to have a discussion with you when I've always wanted just to have a discussion. Right? So it makes it hard for me to have a discussion with you when you posted yesterday saying, I have no intention. You have no intention of supporting this. So I get that. You're not going to support it. This is not something that should be controversial. We have operated school districts without AI for as long as school districts have been around.
It's only controversial because you decided to completely throw aside a full policy. What part of the policy that was put together doesn't already do the things that you're saying a ban should be in place for?
So you're saying there is a ban on your current policy?
There are appropriate uses within the current policy.
Correct. I've read it, and I think it's one of those things that's going to have loopholes forever. It's going to be one of those technological advances that we have to continually move past. We're going to have to continue year after year discussing different uses of it every year.
That's technology. Technology changes
Right.
year to year.
Right. Yeah, and AI is one of them. I get it. I understand that.
And so you're saying you would rather throw the entire thing onto the shoulders of the superintendent to make one-off decisions every time somebody has a question than have a full policy that covers all of that, and then as a last resort says, come to the superintendent if you have further questions and his team.
Yeah, I would. I would rather have a blanket ban on it. I don't think AI is used in, Bill, I understand you have a lot of feedback here. You taught for how many years?
37.
37. In those 37 years, did you teach using AI?
It wasn't really,
I mean-
it was there. AI has been around for a long time, but it's not, it wasn't in the forefront, I would say. I do have some, like Mr. Scott, I do have some applications in Xenia. I'm sure other districts in the state that are, like here are a couple really good applications of using AI. One's called Snorkel. Teachers can post one problem that students show their work, and even they can record the audio of their thought. They will get immediate feedback via Snorkel AI assistant, and they can revise their work. A Snorkel doesn't do their work. It just audits, looks at their work. Another one, Brisk Teaching. Teachers can create a writing assignment within Brisk to get feedback. This program does not write the essay for the student, but it will act as a writing coach, giving the student broad feedback on where to improve or brainstorm what is next. I know that's hard in a class of 28. I know other teachers in the room, you have like 20 hands up. It's like, can you come and, there are so many other Notebook LM, preloaded text in Notebook LM, and have students research from the Notebook. The Notebook will only use the sources that the teacher has given it. It is not a large language model.
Have you ever graded an essay before?
Are you asking if I've graded an essay?
Yeah.
Well, why is that relevant in this one?
You
Am
know,
I going to be asked about every single chemistry class or
No,
biology
for the
class
exact
or
reason
everything
that
else?
Mr. Ritchie-
Have I ever graded a biology
just
exam?
said.
Like, what are we doing here?
For the exact reason that Mr. Ritchie just said, one of the tools can help provide feedback to students' essays.
And I understand it, and I didn't rebuke that, so I don't know why you're
I'm
asking me
saying,
other questions.
because you want a blanket ban on AI.
Correct.
So that would include things like that.
Correct. Because then the
Whereas-
teacher would then provide the feedback for the student.
Do you know how time consuming it is for a teacher to sit down and provide individual feedback for every single essay that they're required to do every single time?
How time consuming it is for a teacher to grade the assignment that they put out? Is that what you just said?
No, how time consuming it is for a teacher to sit and go through and sit with each individual student to provide that feedback. Do you know, I sat and, my dad's been a teacher for 30-something years as well, an English teacher, and I sat and watched him most every single night, staying up till midnight, 1 o'clock, grading essays and providing that feedback to the students.
So you were saying that you would rather feedback from students come from AI-generated machines
No, what
than
I'm
the teachers?
saying is there's a step in between there that you can provide feedback that helps students so that the teacher is not at the very end trying to go back and provide all this feedback back and then have them revise it. They can revise it first with some assistance, and then the teacher can provide that, and it's not going to take hours and hours and
I
hours
guess I'm not
of work.
understanding. You're
So you
saying-
want the teachers to then to work their school day and then go home when they should be spending time with their families and work another 8-hour day grading all the essays.
Is that how they've been doing it since before AI existed?
That's how my dad
Yes.
was.
Yes.
Yes.
That is how they have been doing
it.
it.
Yes.
And Mr.
That's
Scott-
what teachers do. That's what teachers do.
You're exaggerating with another 8-hour day.
No, I'm not. No. I am not. I have lived it.
What do we not see the slippery slope we're talking about? We're talking about teachers not grading papers. We're talking about teachers. That's what we're saying.
But
It's
the
exactly what
AI
you're
just
saying.
helps the student
That's what you're
give
saying.
them
I mean,
feedback, but they're
is
still
this a board
grading.
discussion or a group discussion? I don't understand. This happens every time I can't say anything about caulking and power washing, I get yelled at. So it doesn't make sense to me. Can I not have a conversation?
I mean, it's a ridiculous conversation.
Who's ridiculous, in your opinion? Why is your opinion the only one gets to make other people's
You
opinion
can't. How
ridiculous?
are you going to enforce an AI ban? Tell me. How do you enforce an AI ban?
How are you going to enforce the resolution we just passed? It's the same question.
No, it's not. The resolution we passed has clear steps and what is acceptable and not acceptable.
I got you.
And Mr. Scott, Mr. Day, I do just want to say, Mr. Scott, like as far as the budget would go, Mr. Massey could talk about this. I know all of the curriculum that we've just purchased in the past 3 years, all has AI embedded in it. All of the activities. There are different companies too. I know like for science, we went with a different company. For ELA, we went with a different company. And this would, and Mr. Scott, this would most greatly affect curriculum, I think. And I know, Mrs. Palmer, will you share with us Did you do a PowerPoint on?
I
what?
do.
Pardon?
I do, would you like me to share?
Yeah, I mean, just, it might help clarify for all of us.
No, he didn't use it anyway.
Oh, there's snorkel.
Yes. All right, good evening, Mr. President, board members, Dr. Massey, Dr. Lofton, and community members. Put together 7 slides just to give you an idea of how AI empowers our learners and curriculum stance on AI. So the question before the board isn't whether AI will be a part of our students' lives. It already is. The real question is whether our schools will be the place where students learn to use it wisely, critically, and ethically, or whether we leave it to chance. Banning AI doesn't make our students safer, it just makes them less prepared. And our students, every single one of them, deserve better than that. AI amplifies great teaching. The fear is understandable. When a new technology promises to do something faster and cheaper, the natural instinct is to ask, does that make me obsolete? But the question misreads what teaching actually is. Teaching isn't information delivery. If it were, books would have replaced teachers years ago. Great teaching is judgment, knowing when a student is stuck versus bored, when to push and when to pull back, and when a concept needs a different angle entirely. That's irreplaceable. What AI can do is take the things that slow great teaching down, the prep work, the differentiation, the follow-up, and compress them. A lesson that would have taken 3 hours to build can be scaffolded in 30 minutes, leaving more time for the human work, the conversations, the relationship building, and the mentorship. The word depth is doing real work here. AI can draw connections across subjects that might take hours to research, craft questions that push students to think rather than just recall, and help teachers get ahead of the misconceptions they know are coming. The result isn't a dumbed-down lesson, it's a stronger foundation. So more of our students can actually reach the level that we are aiming for. And lasting impact is the real measure. Students don't remember worksheets. They remember a teacher who saw them clearly and challenged them in exactly the right way, at exactly the right moment. AI doesn't create that moment, teachers do. AI just clears the path so they can get there more often. So banning AI doesn't protect students. Teaching them how to use it does. We don't protect students by shielding them from the future. We protect them by preparing them for it. Here's 3 reasons that bans don't work. Students already have access, so the ban would only happen in the building. AI is available on every smartphone, tablet, and home computer. A school ban doesn't eliminate students' access to AI. It just means they use it without guidance, context, or critical thinking. Banning AI in school is like banning discussions about social media while students scroll through it the moment they walk through the door. The tool doesn't disappear, the teachable moment does. Second point up there is that bans don't teach, they just punish. A ban treats AI as a threat to be contained rather than a skill to be developed. It offers students no framework for when to use AI, when to not use it, how to verify its output, or how to think critically about its limitations. The students who will thrive in college and careers won't be the ones who avoided AI, they'll be the ones who learn to use it responsibly. A ban doesn't prepare students for that world, it just leaves them behind. And then the third point up there is the ban widens the equity gap, it doesn't close it. Affluent students will always find access through tutors, private schools, well-resourced homes that embrace emerging technology. When schools ban AI, the students most harmed are those who depend on school as their primary source for opportunity and for success. A ban doesn't level the playing field. It tilts it further against the students who need the most support. The students this board's here to protect are often the very students a ban hurts the most. Yes?
Mr. President, if I may, for 1 second.
Sure.
So Mr. Scott, ever since you introduced this resolution, I've been giving more and more thought to it in terms of what your ultimate goal is. So these are just clarifying questions for me. So, I mean, and I've heard you talk about this multiple times, so. And I
We have discussed this
yeah,
multiple times.
yeah. And so I think you're coming from a good place in trying to figure out how we empower students not to ultimately depend on AI for all their academic and educational needs. I think you're trying to figure out how we as educators can teach students how to self-govern themselves around their own learning and not depend on AI. At least that's what I've inferred from our conversations. And I know that that's the place where you're coming from. So I guess, my question to you is if you could just take a moment just to talk more about, what your ultimate concern is related to AI, even beyond education.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, because I think that might help people understand your position, although I may not agree with it. In its current form, it may help people understand where you're coming from.
Yeah. I have a daughter in this district. I live in this district. I am an Army veteran, and I am a current service member. I do not keep guns in my house not because I don't know how to use them, not because they can't be used correctly, but because I fear the worst. And I do fear the worst with AI here. I'm not a Luddite, as I've been called on social media. I understand the purposes of this. I understand its advantages and what it can do, and it can be great. My fear is the scenario where we have staff reliant on AI, on their everyday work life, that they become detached from what they're teaching and how they're teaching it or how they're presenting. And then we have students become complacent, maybe distracted, sports, relationships, friendships, and then they become reliant upon AI to do the very work that AI was used to create. We find ourselves in a redundant and null and void scenario where students aren't learning, teachers aren't teaching. Now, I'm not saying that's what I think the intention is. My intention is not to make anybody's life worse or any teacher's, day longer. In my opinion, I just don't see where this scenario doesn't take a turn downward. I mean, we just saw a presentation, and a very prepared presentation, half of one against what I'm doing here, say that a ban on AI or AI doesn't replace teaching. But that's also not true. I see this in the Alpha School District as a private school across the South. There's multiple campuses, Houston, Miami, and others, where they're a K through 12, 100% AI learning school district. They replace teachers with mentors. There are countless homeschooling programs completely reliant upon AI. I get accused of being anti-public education. I cannot think of a more pro-public education and pro-teacher scenario than this. Yes, I understand the teacher might have to work longer and look at the essays that they're grading. I understand that there are shortcuts to doing things. But I also see that as job security. I see that as intimate relationship with the students. I see the desensitization of AI in the learning environment. And that to me, I don't see value there. I see the pros, I see the cons, and I don't think there's a scenario where we guide it into place and we ship it in. I think this is we don't have to have it. We don't need it. We don't need it to teach. He didn't need it to get his doctorate. I didn't need it to get my bachelor's. Every person in this room who's graduated with their bachelor's degree, I would bet, did not use AI to do so. So, and I bet you that the teachers who's taught those classes did not use AI to teach them. So to say that we're reliant upon AI, I don't believe it. And to say that we need AI, I don't believe it, I think it's a preference. So it is my strong preference. It is my belief that this is the wrong direction to go. And if there's exceptions that need to be made to make things more comfortable and compliant, I've already put that in there. I've already adjusted for that. I understand we're a changing world. I understand innovation's happening out there, but I also understand a massive portion of the law of attorney world is being replaced with AI wills and AI other things. There are massive portions of industry being replaced. I also work in an industry. I'm Security Plus certified. I'm a system administrator. I work with computers. I understand that there are data-driven and AI career paths. I understand. I don't see how removing AI is going to hurt our students. If anything, it's going to make them more involved into this learning process. And that's ultimately what you have stated we need to focus on is critical thinking. That is a part of our character, portrait of a student, portrait of a buccaneer. You do not have anything else if you don't have critical thinking. This is my point. I understand all the pros and cons, and I understand that there is too big of a risk to look back 4 years from now and graduate saying, I didn't really learn much. Or I read the answer, but if you don't spend an hour or two struggling and getting mad and trying to figure it out and calling your brother or calling your mom and dad and trying to figure this out, or the next day going to study hall and saying, hey, I need help from a peer, and then explaining it to you, I don't see how you learn in the long term. You learn in the short term, maybe you learn for the tests. I just don't see it. That's my point of view. That's where I come from. I am deeply concerned. But if I'm in the minority, I'll accept that. Yeah.
Yeah. I am by far the oldest on this panel. And I'm okay with that. But I'm also a very logical thinker. It's like when people say you're against public education, and I told you about that. I said, I don't even know what that looks like. I don't, that doesn't even register to me that it would be a possibility. I mean, so I guess what I'm saying is, and like I said, being the oldest, all of this is new to me. I don't use it, my daughter does, at our business. But what I'm saying is, there are things that I'm not comfortable with, but it doesn't affect my future. And I'm asking, is it even reasonable to think that you're going to be rid of AI across the board in the schools or in the administration?
The answer to that is probably not. But just to circle back to what Mr. Scott stated, at least what I heard, and tell me if I'm wrong, Mr. Scott, is that your main concern is AI replacing things, people, processes, systems.
In a nutshell.
In a nutshell, yeah. I think you stated, I heard you state replacing teachers, replacing people. But what if I told you that, I don't think that's going to happen. The policy that we have presented to you all has parameters, guidelines, guardrails in place, not to replace people, but to teach students how to use those systems responsibly, and then those technologies responsibly. So I don't think we're replacing people. I think that's your major concern, which is it's a valid concern, because we have heard that across different media outlets, AI replacing people. But I think as it relates to education and how we teach students, we're trying to teach students how to use AI responsibly. We're not replacing teachers with an AI robot, so to speak, because I've heard that actually.
I didn't say robot.
Right. But we're not replacing people in lieu for AI. And I think that's at least what
It's
I
not
hear
just
you.
the people, it's the
Right.
process entirely.
Process and systems, right.
You're right.
So if I told you that's not happening, And actually, the policy that we presented to you all is a responsible policy. It teaches kids how to use AI responsibly. And it has protocols and guardrails in place that will teach students how to do that. But I just know that we talked several times, and I know that you've expressed your concerns around AI and what AI, the impact that AI could have on education. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that you had an opportunity to kind of explain yourself a little further that that's what you're concerned about. But that's not going to happen here. It's not happening here. So I don't know if that calms any of your.
May I ask, Mrs. Palmer, would you finish your presentation? Were you finished?
No.
Oh, I would just like to see how Xenia's teachers are integrating it. If you, or you want to just move on?
How many more slides get? Come on, Ms. Palmer.
Two slides.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just think that would help all of us. Yeah, right, yeah, that's where we were.
Well, and that's what the 5 ways to use AI in a lesson plan. This
Yeah.
is how we're teaching staff to use AI. So here's 5 strategic ways that we can use AI in a lesson plan. Each one is very intentional, okay? And each one's only like 5 to 10 minutes. They're not very long, so we're not talking about entire lessons or anything. So one way to use it is a curiosity spark. And it's much easier to frame these and see these when you actually see them in the platforms. I'm only going to show you one tonight for time's sake though, but it is much easier to see them in a platform. So think of a curiosity spark as before a unit even begins, AI can help generate a question, a surprising statistic, or a scenario that makes the student lean in and ask why. Okay, think of it as a way to engineer the moment where curiosity takes over. The teachers aren't handing the lesson to AI, they're just using it to light the fuse. So the teacher still decides what's worth being curious about. Another way is to brainstorm. So think about mid-lesson when students are generating ideas for an essay or a project or a solution. AI just becomes a thinking partner and not an answer machine. I have never seen any student platforms with AI, I just have to say, that gives the kids answers. They just don't, at all. Teach students to use the way a writer uses a whiteboard. Throw everything at it and see what comes back. Then decide what's actually worth keeping. And another term for this is AI literacy. It's how we teach our kids to critically think about what AI is saying and whether it makes sense and to check it. The goal isn't to accept AI's output, it's to argue with it, build on it, and own the final product. Another way we are teaching teachers to use AI is checkpoints. Before teachers move to the next concept, AI can quickly surface whether students actually understood the last concept. It can quickly generate exit ticket questions, comprehension checks, or quick diagnostic prompts tailored to what a teacher just taught. It isn't an assessment for a grade. It's just a pulse check for whether the teacher can move on or needs to look back. Feedback, I'm going to show you that one real quick so you have an idea of one of the tools. That's one of the hardest things to scale as a teacher is meaningful, timely feedback. AI can give students the first round. It can flag unclear reasoning, identify gaps, and ask follow-up questions. So that by the time the work reaches the teacher, students have already completed a revision cycle. The teacher feedback then goes deeper because they are no longer correcting the surface. They are pushing the thinking. This is feedback that multiplies, not replaces. And then the last one up there is just scaffolded support for students who need more. They need more context, a simpler entry point, a different explanation. AI can provide on-demand scaffolding without singling anyone out. A student who's stuck doesn't have to wait for a teacher to come across the room. They can get a reframed explanation, a worked example, or a guiding question in the moment. The teacher still sets the learning goal. AI just builds more on-ramps to get there. So notice what I said is consistent across all 5 of these. The teacher is always the architect. AI is just the tool. All right, so I think maybe some of you might remember this slide from the February board meeting, how important we're working on feedback because it's one of the most powerful influences on student achievement with an effect size that you see up there of 0.75 to 0.73. As a reminder, 1 year's growth is about 0.4. Cognitive science shows that students retain information better when they receive feedback while their working memory is still engaged. So it is important we can get that feedback to them quicker instead of a day going by or a couple of days going by. So I'm going to show you a demo just really quick. It'll take like 2 minutes of feedback. And Mr. Ritchie actually talked about Snorkel earlier, easy lead in. Snorkel is a tool that gives instant feedback on authentic student thinking. So Ms. Krill, if you could click on Snorkel. All right, so this is just what the landing page looks like. And you can click on in the middle, find an activity, and pick one of the categories for me, Mr. Scott. You want to pick a category?
Oh, let's look at reading and language arts, high school.
Ooh, okay. Reading and Language Arts High School. All right, pick one of the ideas there, Mr. Ritchie. Can you see it that close up?
Are you close enough, Bill?
Oh, I wanted to see the other.
I did see it that close.
Yes. Okay, I like theme, create your own number one.
Okay.
For 500.
Under key ideas.
I was joking.
Yes. Okay, and then we're going to click try as a student.
For 200.
Good for 200.
Mm-hmm. And so you'll have to read you can click start responses here. What was the question that it said? Maybe you have to go back.
Read the story based on the theme.
Read the story based on the text.
There you go.
There we go.
Okay, so read the story based on the text, create an appropriate theme, and use at least 2 pieces of evidence to explain why your theme is suitable.
It shows one that we have to do a lot of work.
Yeah, this one is maybe we should go back and pick one that we don't have to do as much work for. It's a lot of work.
We have till midnight.
Maybe first grade. Maybe one of the first grade ones.
That was a lot of work.
Here, you do, oh, okay.
Just keep going back.
I'm already there, it's right here.
All right, you have another one, Mr. Scott.
Mathematics.
There we go.
6th grade.
All right.
I think we could all do 6th grade.
And then just write this ratio 3 ways. Click the second one there, Ms. Crowe.
Maybe not.
All right, here we go. Try as a student. All right. So it says there, before the kid starts, this is as a student, writing activity, review the question, type your response. So it says, will you read it for us, Mr. Ritchie?
Sure. At the bakery, there were 5 chocolate chip cookies for every 2 sugar cookies. Write the ratio in 3 different ways.
Okay, so a student can either talk into it or they can just start typing. Okay, so, I'm messing up on purpose so you guys see what it does, so it doesn't give it the answer. So a kid might say, I love chocolate chip cookies. I want 5 of them.
That's a valid response.
I mean, I like chocolate chip cookies. All right, let's see. Then we're going to review it and submit it. So Snorkel takes a minute and it generates the feedback on the side. And it uses a rubric type model. And so for this one, I got 0 out of 4, but look at what Snorkel does. I can see you like chocolate chip cookies, but this question asks you to write a ratio, not about what you want to eat. A ratio compares 2 amounts. Can you tell me how many chocolate chip cookies there are compared to sugar cookies? See how it makes the entry point for students who really, if a student writes this, they don't know what a ratio is. So it gives them an entry point. Try writing the numbers 5 and 2 in 3 different ways to show the ratio. What are some ways you could write 5 and 2 together? So it gives students an entry point and it gives them something to critically think about so they can formulate another answer and respond again. And as the teacher's walking around the room before the teacher gets to them, they might be sitting there in a class of 30 for a couple minutes doing this problem wrong. So then they're solidifying incorrect thinking, where if they have something like this for instant feedback, then it helps them have an entry point. So, That was just an example I wanted to show you of instant feedback and how that could help students have an entry point for the teacher guide. Okay, so in closing, AI is one of the most powerful tools we have ever had to level the playing field for our students, to give every child in every classroom the kind of personalized support that used to be reserved for only a privileged few. The Safest AI policy isn't a ban, it is a lesson plan. We are teaching our teachers how to use it appropriately. And our students are counting on us, I think, to be brave enough to know the difference. Until I started digging into tools and using them and seeing, I had a lot of misconceptions about AI. And I'll be honest with you, I've been teaching for 24 years, so I didn't really want to learn it at the beginning, but it's here. And after you get into it and you see the value and how powerful it can be to assist our teachers in the classroom and push our kids even further, it's very valuable. That's all, Mr. Ritchie.
Any questions? You have a question for Mrs. Pollak?
I do. You said that it doesn't give them the answer. Is that because that's the program that you're using? Because I know, like my mom's husband, my mom got sick and he looked it up and took her to a hospital.
Yeah.
So
the tools that we use as adults, the tools we use as adults, like if we ask Gemini a question, they're going to give you answers. Those aren't tools that we have opened up to our students. Our students are only using the tools that we've opened to them, and those are student tools that have specific parameters in them that do not give them the answers, it guides them.
Yeah, again, the policy that we wrote has directly prescribes closed systems, which are our own internal systems that do what we want them to do. They don't open up to public domain. They don't give the answers. They are educational use AI systems that we employ. And if I have the floor, I want to read just a couple sentences of the AI policy. It says, students shall receive age-appropriate instruction about responsible AI use, digital citizenship, privacy, and the risk limitations of AI prior to using AI. Students are expected to develop their own knowledge, skills, and understanding of course material rather than relying solely on AI tools, and they should ask their teachers when they have questions and or need assistance. As noted above, students may use AI tools for academic purposes when specifically and clearly permitted by their teachers. The use of AI must be properly disclosed and cited in accordance with the established guidelines and not be employed to undermine authentic learning or learning objectives for the course or assignment. If a student's going to cheat, a student's going to cheat. They've been doing it for ever. So there's not, if banning AI is not going to stop a student from cheating. They have their phones. I mean, it's not, they can go Google Gemini on their phones. But, I think it's our responsibility to teach the youth the proper uses of AI, how to use it, how to recognize when AI is being used, and how to recognize false information, how to do proper research, and unless we're willing to incorporate it, we're leaving our kids behind. I'm an aerospace engineer. I use AI all the time as part of my job. Every single job uses AI nowadays. If you expect a kid to go into the workforce without that knowledge and proper use knowledge, they're going to be so far behind their peers that they might not get jobs. I mean, I just literally created an entire website for my business that I'm starting with the assistance of AI. It was something that would have taken me hundreds of hours to sit down and put together, with a whole back end that can do online ordering and everything that's required. And there are kids today that are able to do those things as kids. They have access to being able to become entrepreneurs, being able to have the world open to them through the use of AI that, you know, a ban would severely inhibit.
I guess I just don't understand. I really don't. Because I just sat here last month and watched you say that you wanted to go back to pencil and paper for less screen time usage. And now I'm hearing you as the most, you were advocating for applications that require more screen time usage. In the very example that she just presented, she said that kids would sit at their computers in their classroom, work on this stuff, and the teacher would walk around while they're all on their computers using screen time and applications on computers. Am I not understanding?
Yeah, because this is a completely different argument.
How? I mean, how is your overall objective for pencil and paper and less screen time? And now suddenly, with AI, screen time is all we need.
Does the use of AI dictate that we have to have more computer usage?
Do you use AI with pencil and paper?
But there is an amount of computer usage in the classroom. Yes or no?
Yes.
So then...
Currently as it stands, right? Because they're using this currently.
Yeah, and there are two separate discussions. There should be limitations on computer usage. That does not mean that there also needs to be a ban on AI.
So if there's limitations on computer usage, let's say we limit the time of computers, and then the time that they don't have to, let's say it's 50-50. They can only have it for 50% of the class time, which is 50% of the day that they spend at school. The other half, they don't have AI applications. Well, if we absolutely have to have AI applications, then how are we going to learn in that other half the time? That's what I guess I'm trying to understand, is that the longer we're more reliant on AI, it's only going to get more entrenched. Everything we do, how is it logical? The internet hasn't left. As you said, calculators haven't left.
I mean, it's obvious. If you're using pencil and paper, you're not using AI.
Absolutely. And if you're using AI, why would you be using pencil and paper?
Because you're on a computer, so you don't need that. You're arguing semantics that don't even make sense.
I know. I guess I'm just trying to understand, because I just saw you last month say you wanted less screen time. I thought this was something that we all wanted less screen time. And as we walk ourselves into an application that's going to do more screen time,
it does not
we're just
dictate
walking
more. It does not dictate more screen time.
Then how do you use AI?
In the existing screen time that you have.
I think we need to stay forward thinking as educators. I mean, AI is scary to everyone. I mean, Mrs. Palmer was like, oh, but until you start, I didn't realize how it's just entrenched in everything we do every day. I will tell you something that was interesting to me at the conference last Friday, Saturday. At this presentation by there was, like I said, 6 girls who wrote this app, AI for Youth, in their class. One of the, they're from southeastern Ohio, which she said we're not a rich district at all. And one of the girls said, she said, I wouldn't even know what AI is. She said, we don't have internet at home. But because I'm in this class, I was exposed to AI, and then, I think she was one of the ones going to Ohio State, which now, they're trying to make sure every student is fluent. All right, I'm going to ask, any more comments? Oh, go ahead.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Ritchie. I will chime in on this very briefly. I was also one of those students that grew up without AI, Josh and Tyler, and there are things that have been said tonight that I would have liked to jump in on, but my predominant experience with AI is related to my job. At the risk of revealing classified information, I'm just going to choose not to go there. But thank you for spirited conversations. Mr. Ritchie.
So, Mr. Scott, is there anything in our current policy that's before you that you would change or amend to make you feel more comfortable about the information that we have presented to you tonight?
Not necessarily. I mean, I think it's well written. I do give credit to the policy committee. I do give credit to what everybody's concerns are. I don't think it's going to alleviate the concerns that I've made here tonight. I don't see how entrenching ourselves more into applications that require this is going to at all ever reduce screen time, which is what our whole last conversation was about. And then I don't understand how we're ever going to be able to walk away from it once we just step into the bucket and say, this is our home now. So we've had educators teach me that. I've made my case many times. I don't think we need it. I think that AI, maybe not now. I mean, I'm not saying for the future. I get that it's positive uses. I'm not arguing the positive uses. But I think my concerns are valid. And I wanted to see us become more intimate with our classrooms and our teachers. I want to see that. And I do see a potential for walking away from that and being reliant upon technology even more than we already are. So I'm not a Luddite. I work in technology. He works in technology. He works in technology. He taught. I would chalkboards.
Starting with chalkboards.
You definitely learn with chalkboards.
Ending with chalkboards were invented.
The real crime is what happened to the chalk company. That's really what happened here. But I am.
It's still there.
It's still there. This is, this is something that I feel very passionate about, and I don't think I'm going to move from. So if that's the minority vote, that's what the minority vote is. I would encourage you to join with me in this. But, I respect everyone's opinion here. So, and I thank you, Ms. Palmer, for your presentation.
Mr. Massey, do we have a first and second?
There's no motion.
Oh, there's no motion. Okay. All right. Anybody want to make a motion so we have an official vote? Or do you guys?
Well, we can at least make the vote for the record. I motion to vote on it.
Okay, I'll second. Now, I just want to make sure that the resolution, a yes vote, would be to ban the use of AI software, applications, and material from the school district, as Mr. Scott's.
With the exception for compliance.
Yeah, and then a no vote would be yes. So yes means you're agreeing with the resolution to ban the use of AI. Okay, roll call.
All right, first by Mr. Scott, second by Mr. Ritchie. Mr. Cox.
No.
Mr. Day.
No.
Mr. Ritchie.
A no.
Mr. Scott.
Yes.
Mrs. Williams.
No.
All right. All right, motion passes?
No.
It failed, actually? Yes. Okay, sorry, No, I mean AI continues. All right, we're going to move on to number 10, superintendent's update. Dr. Lofton?
So I just want to, again, just as you did, Mr. Ritchie, thank the senior community for their participation in the process to pass issue 1. We will continue to use these funds to help keep our facilities in top shape. So again, thanks to the community for your support on this renewal issue. Last week we had Staff Appreciation Week. Again, I want to thank all our staff for their hard work all year long. We did send out a gift, and I think the board members received one as well. I'll show it. I think it's pretty neat. We struggled with what else to get staff members. We came up with this. I think it's a great, nice blanket.
Nice.
That we gave each staff member to really, again, small, but we definitely want to show our support and appreciation for the work they do each and every day on behalf of kids in our school district. I would also like to thank again and congratulate again the 17 educators and staff members who are retiring this year. Thanks for their commitment and dedication to our community, to our students. It's May, so it's very, very busy around here. Last week we had our Class of 2026 Senior Awards. Just a data point, we had 80 local scholarships that were awarded that amounted to over $120,000. So we have a very talented senior class of 2026, and I just want to congratulate those seniors, and our community supported them with financial support. Our graduation is May 20th at the Nutter Center. I just want to make that announcement as well. We had a drone delivery challenge. It was our second annual event, and that was held on May 2nd. We had 50 students on 13 teams that competed at Benner Fieldhouse. And Tecumseh's The Drifters took first place overall with additional awards given in other categories. So congratulations to Tecumseh's The Drifters drone team. Last week, we also held our 3rd annual Buccaneer Junior Chef. Mrs. Williams, thank you for being a judge. Mrs. Williams, you want to maybe comment a little bit on that? What did you think about the junior chef competition?
I can comment on so many things. It's just amazing what these kids are, and they're cute as can be. Like Yasmin said, you like to cook? I'm like, no. And I was like, yeah, you did. But I just, the opportunity was what surprised me. I mean, that I'm not sure the lady's name who does that. Her last name is Jones.
Jones, Mrs. Jones.
It was amazing. I appreciated the fact that she did that. She doesn't have to. You know, that was something that she, and it was really, really nice. And then the X-Star program, I was shocked at the things that these kids are doing. You know, because like I said, I'm the oldest one here, we didn't do that. So if we were back to where I was, we would be doing anything. But I was just so impressed, and the detail that these kids look at. I mean, Josh's son, he literally took tomato rings and put it around the food to decorate his, I mean, they really took it seriously. And I was impressed with that. It was just, I've been having a ball.
Well, we have some really impressive things, again, going on around the district, so you've experienced a couple of those. Again, I want to thank all our staff members, Mrs. Jones, who put that competition on. It was her idea, so it was an amazing event. And I think that concludes my report.
Okay. Mr. Ridgely, thank you. All right, closing items, announcements. I'll start with Mr. Scott. Anything?
Yeah,
Share?
and so I want to thank everybody for speaking tonight. It didn't go the way I hoped, but that's okay. I appreciate everybody being out here. As you all know, I am leaving in a couple weeks, and I will be back likely in November for the November meeting, and if I'm able to, I'll be back sooner than that. So don't get too comfortable without me. I am going to find a way to come back early. I'm going to school for my, I took a position that was a promotion, and I have to achieve the training for that with the military. So this is a temporary order, and I will be accessible completely virtually and available online. Of course, it won't be here in Ohio, so it will be quite a long ways away. However, I should be back, earliest I could get back in September, so don't think about me too long. And then October is more likely when I'll be back. I'll be here for graduation. I can't wait to graduate our students. I'm sure they worked very hard for it. And I'm excited to see that. Is that at the Nutter Center? Yes. Yeah, at the Nutter Center. Yeah, that's fantastic. Other than that, I'm just grateful to be on this board. I'm grateful to be with such great board members, even if we don't agree at times. I think that everyone here is working for the best interest of the students in their own way, and I'm grateful. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Day?
To second some of the things that Dr. Lockton shared, I had an opportunity to coach one of the drone teams, Wingardium Deliriosa. They did awesome. They just ended up just outside of medals in every single category. So a little disappointed. They were a little disappointed, but they had a good time. And then, the X-Star mini golf event was fantastic. Had a lot of fun doing that. And then, my oldest got to compete in the cooking contest as well. So he had a blast with that. And he actually, one of the awards that I think all the kids got in their basket was like a cookbook. And he made a cake for his mom for Mother's Day out of the book yesterday. So that was nice. Other than that, I think the next major event that the city's putting on is the 4th of July Red, White, and Blue Bash. They've already requested volunteers, and our student representative has already started working on that, so I think we're pretty squared away. But that's the next big thing.
I've heard the fireworks are bigger this year than even normal.
Our fireworks are pretty impressive, and
very
I've heard
impressive.
that they're going to be even more so this year. So.
This year, I would think so, yeah.
All right, thank you, Mr. Day. I would just say it is very busy with a lot going on in the schools, like Dr. Lofton, Mr. Day has alluded to, I've been busy in the schools doing a lot, but I would like to say, I talked to Mr. Massey and Dr. Lofton a couple weeks ago, and I thought maybe we should, we're all very proud of McKinley and Shawnee for the Momentum Award. So I worked with, and I worked with Kava House, and they have agreed, I have like 700 coupons for staff and students at the two schools for a free drink. So they can stop at Kava House there on Main Street, and they can get a smoothie, a coffee, any beverage of their choice. And it's good till the first day of school. So I thought if any of the board members would like to, anybody go, we could maybe divide and conquer and hand them out, like at the schools, and just tell the teachers and kids, how many do you need, good job, and then just go from room to room. But our time is very limited, so.
You let me know.
Okay, why don't I come up with a date, and I'll just say, I had talked to the principals about maybe doing a short assembly and congratulating everyone, and they're like, please don't add one more thing. It is like that at the end of school. So I appreciate Kava House's, they're not, we're paying some, but they are giving us a discount on all the drinks. And this is similar, this idea I took from Mr. Scott. We didn't pay for these yet. But I don't know how many kids ended up using Rona Fair. I saw several kids there from Xenia, which we went to, and it was a good event. So we're going to collect these and pay afterwards, so anyway.
Saving money, Bill, I love it.
Yeah, that was a great idea. So I'll email you guys, and maybe we'll say, hey, how about, okay, thank you. That's all I have, yeah. Thank you. Mr. Carr?
I would give a reminder to everyone, back in March, we passed a resolution celebrating America's 250th birthday. And that resolution includes a advertisement statement saying that we support the Green County Flag Day 250 Red, White, and U. That will be held on Sunday, June 14th from 4 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. And Mr. Ritchie and Dr. Lofton, both of you, please ensure that your upcoming superintendent's email to the community includes that advertisement for Flag Day if I send that to you. Great, thank you very much.
It's a great event. It's really cool to go see it.
If you haven't, I would highly recommend it. Thank you.
And I was just saying, this year they're doing from 4 to 6, kind of like a festival idea.
Right.
Food and.
There'll be face painting and bubble machines and a couple
characters
other.
walking around, handing out.
Yes, touch a truck, things like that.
I know Abraham Lincoln's gonna be there. Not the original.
It is gonna be big. They're having games for the kids, like you said, all food is free, and every activity is free.
And Deb, aren't you a judge for the picture drawing contest or something?
Yeah, coloring contest, yes.
So is my wife. That's how I know.
But I
Thank
will
you.
not be participating in the pie contest. I'm old, but I did never make
Is that all, Mr. Cox?
That is all.
Thank you, Mrs. Williams.
No, just like I said, I've been so impressed. I've gone to a lot of things, FFA, the commitment that goes into that, I had no idea. But I've enjoyed all of the activities with the kids. I really have. I've got to see a lot of positive things. So.
Thank you, Mr. Day.
I was remiss to say and give a big shout out to Mr. Carey for the drone competition and all the things that he does, all the STEM stuff throughout the district. It's amazing the things he does. The Lego robotics teams, I got the opportunity to coach one of those, but there were, 7 teams throughout the district, and he was running around with his hair on fire trying to help coach or assist all those teams, which is fantastic. But just a big shout out to him and everything that he does for them.
All right, everybody good? Okay, to adjourn? I'll first.
I'll second.
Okay.
First by Mr. Ritchie, a second by Mr. Cox.
Roll call, please, quickly.
Mr. Cox?
Yes.
Mr. Day?
Yes.
Mr. Ritchie?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mrs. Williams?
Yes.